Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is the Demetra K Show where we are live. Earlier, we had our podcast. We were not live. And so if you have not checked that out, please go and check that out. I'd like to say a big giant thank you to Donovan for sitting here with me once again. Also like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, I guess we'll call it X now. I got to get used to that. And Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation, but not only are you the other side of the conversation, you are family. And we often share the link so that you can give your opinion, ask a question, or whatever it is. All I ask is that if I've never seen you on here before, please show me your face if you're using a picture in lieu of your face before I bring you up to the big screen to verify that there are no shenanigans involved. I also ask that you keep your commentary pertinent to the conversation at hand. So don't come up here asking us questions or talking about something we ain't talking about at the moment. Save that for the time that we are. With that being said, I also like to say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community, to keep us, to make us even better people, I should say, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about Representative James Clyburn of South Carolina, saying he just don't believe the polling numbers in regards to Black Americans not really liking Biden the way, and I say we, I mean collectively, used to. So, of course, we'll have that conversation. Then we'll venture off into something else as we usually do, right? Hey, Maine, how you doing? Your average logical thinker, JD Informant, long time no see, and Thunder. Donovan, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is we got a scrolling banner at the bottom. If you guys so desire and want to add and contribute to the show, that is one way you can do it. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, you name it, we got it. Also, do not forget to go check out the African Diaspora News Channel.org. And that's on YouTube. Sign up for the year subscription. That way you ain't got to worry about your credit card being charged over and over again. It is one way where we can get information that we might not be aware of because they don't give Black news in the United States unless a Black guy's being choked out throughout the diaspora. So that's one way you can do it. Vicky Dillard, Brother Phil Scott, Demetra K, Wongale, a whole bunch of new people have come on the platform. I was like, wow, I'm very impressed that they're bringing all these new faces on there. And we can have our conversations on there and kind of actually understand what's going on in the diaspora, not only just in Africa and the United States and Britain, but Asia, Singapore, all these places over there. Wherever we're at, we're going to get news that covers that. Want to say hi to Miss Sweet Talk. I was watching her live cast just before we came on the show. Once again, a lot of information there. She is very, very colorful as a commentator on her own page. Your Average Logical Thinker also is a great page to go to, and you can do that. But as far as the African Diaspora News Channel, you can also download the app. Please go ahead and start doing that because very, very soon, the revolution will not be televised. We're going to be having our own conversations and things that's going on over there, especially since they are so desperate to shame us and tactics and things that we do in regard to get the Black vote. You know, we can sit over there and start strategizing for ourselves how we are going to demand reparations and do all those other great things. But great to have you guys back on the show. Please like, share, and subscribe, but definitely share on your platform. I know a lot of people think that, you know, that doesn't really do anything. It does, because your family members, especially the ones that might be older and stuck in their ways, they're going to look at what you're looking at, and they're going to say, what the hell? What you mean you're not a Democrat anymore? You're going to be an independent. That's going to start the conversation. And next thing you know, you drop that knowledge like you guys give us. Next thing you know, we've got more people that are getting and running off the plantation. This is an interesting topic. Again, our good buddy, Jimbo Clyburn. Let's do it.
Absolutely. So hello to everyone else that came on here. All right. So, of course, you guys know that we are in the middle, I guess you say in the beginning of election season. Hello, Samuel. The beginning of election season, of course, the presidential election will be 2024. And Republicans have already started to have their primaries or caucuses. Thinking they're going to have one tonight in New Hampshire. And this is where they'll see if Nikki Haley, who is really the only one at this point going up against that of Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, I should say. She has to do well in this particular caucus or primary. If she doesn't, then yeah, she's probably going to have to pack up her bags like everybody else has done.
Wait, can I ask you a question though? If she's the only other candidate, she could poll at 2%. Wouldn't that be considered well compared against Donald Trump?
No, she actually has to win. She actually has to win the primary caucus, whatever they're calling it. She actually has to win it in order to be considered a viable candidate on the Republican side. But of course, we also know that the Democrats will soon be having their primaries. But one of the kingmakers is that of Representative James Clyburn from South Carolina. Of course, he put President Joe Biden back in the game in 2020 when he was running, and he wasn't doing so well at all. So when he went to South Carolina, Jim Clyburn said, "Hey, y'all got to, get out there and vote." And of course, we know the rest is history. But since President Joe Biden has been in office, he has seen a sharp decline in regards to Black voters and the approval rating. You guys are going to watch a clip right now, him being asked about the Black vote. And, it's funny, but it's sad all at the same time in regards to his response. So check it out. Who else came on here? Sister Shirley, how you doing? Demetrius, what's going on with you? Black first all my life. And whoever else came on, I'll acknowledge you. But here we go.
Are you when it comes to the president's ability to reach Black voters? The president has an approval rating of 65% amongst Black Americans age 50 and up, but that drops down to 32% amongst Black Americans under the age of 50. Are you concerned?
I'm concerned with the reporting of this. Yes, when I see those numbers, my goodness, if there's any truth to the numbers, which I don't believe them, because I talk to Black people all the time. I have 3 Black daughters. They tell me differently. My grandchildren tell me differently. So I don't know where those numbers are coming from, but when you ask a question and someone is basing their opinion on incomplete information or misinformation, and the other side seems to be pretty good at misinformation. We know what happened in the last election. They didn't stop when the election was over. It's still going on now. So there's a lot of misinformation going on out here. There are a lot of things being said that's just not true. And I think that we are going to break through that when it goes one-on-one. We'll see what happens after the South Carolina primary.
Okay. So he's basically saying that he doesn't believe the poll numbers. And from my memory, I didn't write it all the way down, but it says that I think it's at now 63% Black voter approval rating for the Democrats or for Biden, and 33% for Black Americans that are 50 and under. So they're considered those to be young Americans. And so, of course, there was Jim Clyburn. He was also asked about the MAGA wall because he's been saying that they, being the Democrats, haven't been able to break through the messaging of the MAGA wall just yet. So they're trying to figure out a way to do it. But again, he was asked about the Black vote. So he's saying he doesn't believe it. He believes that it's a lot of misinformation going on. He also referenced his Black daughters and his Black granddaughters, his grandchildren, is saying, well, they don't tell me that. They don't tell me that they're disapproving of that of Joe Biden. Of course, we know that Joe Biden benefited from a approval rating when he was running, or actually that's not approval rating, but Black voters voted for him to the tune of like 90+%. So of course, hearing that he has a 63% approval rating is not good. Now, some of those Black voters have said that they are going to vote for Trump or somebody else, sit home or what have you. So there is Jim Clyburn saying, I just don't believe it. We can't believe this misinformation and these poll numbers. I've seen other poll numbers that say differently, that says that he's not doing bad with Black America. But it's like, okay, well, you got 3 daughters and grandchildren. They're not a representative of all of Black America. But this is a larger problem, I think, with the Democratic Party, that they are just in denial, which is kind of why we see them, especially in my opinion, in regards to Black America, why they are not really making moves, because they're just in denial. You know what I mean? And so the other question is, where is this misinformation coming from?
Damn, doggone cat always messes with my controls, and now he's back again. So give me a second here.
That's like showtime.
Yeah, it's showtime. All right, I am ready. How could he be in denial when Sheila Jackson Lee had to go to a runoff? This is a woman that has a 30-year congressional record in the CBC, former chair of the CBC, and all that other stuff. She had to go to a runoff, and in the runoff, she got blown out. Check one. The Louisiana governor's race. Black people in Louisiana had an opportunity to elect a black governor for the first time in its history. The nominee got blown out as black people sat home. These are the tea leaves. His black daughters are political stupids. These are his daughters know nothing about politics. How do I know that? Because just like most black politicians, they set their families up as a political slush fund so donors could donate to them, so the money goes into the family so they enrich their family. That's one of the ways Maxine Waters and Jim Clyburn enrich themselves. It goes to their daughter. What does his daughter know about being a political operative? What campaigns has she ever ran on? None. It's just something that is set up as a slush fund so that people could donate to Jim Clyburn without directly donating to him. And that money goes into his family. This man is totally delusional. And another way to read the tea leaves is when the Democratic news apparatus, MSNBC, starts talking about the decline of the black vote, that tells you a lot right there when they're talking about it. Because if it wasn't an issue, they wouldn't be talking about it. It wouldn't be a talking point. They would totally ignore it, like, oh, we don't know what we're talking about, whatever. When the political bootlicks, like Charlemagne the God, comes out and says, hey, I was duped, that tells you something. Has the Biden administration ever gone back on the Breakfast Club? We're in political season, haven't done it. All this has disappeared. These are all factual things, because if everything was going great, you would open the same playbook, because the playbook works, and do the same things. So the man is in total denial.
Yeah, absolutely. As a key figurehead, I would imagine, at the Democratic Party, what is he, number 3, number 2? What is he?
Yeah, he used to be. Notice that when the Democrats lost the House, all of the leadership stepped down. When they lose, they give it to the young people.
So what is he now?
He's a senior campaign advisor to Joe Biden's reelection campaign.
So he's still pretty high up in the
in the Democratic Party. Nancy Pelosi, they're in shadow. As soon as they win again, or we give them the House again, these people will be back.
Right. So he's still pretty much a kingmaker in the Democratic Party. Yeah, they don't have the House anymore, Republicans do, but he's still a kingmaker in the Democratic Party. So as somebody in that position, he can't get out there and say, oh yeah, these poll numbers are right, that we're fighting an uphill battle. He's got to sell. He's got to sell to the American people, especially black people, Democratic voters, that everything's good. Don't believe them. Everything is okay. Just continue voting for more of nothing. Keep on showing up, because he's not stupid. He sees the writing on the wall. He sees that people are starting to leave the plantation. He sees that people are no longer in love with Biden and Harris as they once were. So he's got to continue to sell the nightmare. Essentially, he's got to sell the nightmare to people. But unfortunately, there's some people who will believe him. And then I would say this too. There are also some people who just never, ever will leave the Democrats. And that's fine, because democracy, right, is their right to do that. But there's a lot of people who are like, I'm not doing it again. That's where those numbers are coming from. I mean, we see time and time again on the news, whether it's in social media, are we talking to somebody, they're saying, I'm not voting for the Democrats. I'm either going to stay home, or I am going to vote for Trump or whoever is on that Republican ticket. But for James Clyburn to continue denying that there's a problem with black voters and the Democrats, also denies that black people, everything that we've been asking for specifically, we're not getting. It also denies that there is a problem in Black America, because James Clyburn strikes me as the type of person to say, well, America's not as racist as it used to be. He's, not for us getting reparations. He's the one that'll, have you a good old fish fry when you come on down or whatever. And he knows that we'll line up for that fish fry just to say we were there, right? We were there and we were in the mix and we helped get Joe Biden in the office. But as I say nowadays, and I'm not going to bite my tongue as much, if you are bragging about you voting blue no matter who, and you're getting Joe Biden and them back into the White House, you need to stick yourself. You need to stick yourself, because what you're doing is helping them get back into the White House and getting more of nothing, if that's something, right? For Black people. We know that the Democrats cannot do it without the Black voter. It's just bar none. They cannot do it. And for him to be sitting his, I'm going to be nice, he's 83 years old, 83-year-old self up there, been in Congress since 1993, getting nothing for Black people. For him to sit up there and be haughty and dismissive about the poll numbers that are coming from real Black Americans, he should be ashamed of himself. He really should be.
You know, but what's really sad is the people down in South Carolina, since that whole area has been gerrymandered, they're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for him to be reelected, and these people are going to vote for who they tell them to vote. And I'm not trying to down people in South Carolina. I love that military base at Charleston. I used to love going there. But unfortunately, a lot of the people there are content to be who they are and be on their land and all that other good stuff. And it's just a sad commentary. But in regards to Mr. Clyburn, I mean, you're right, Demetra. I mean, if people are going to continue to keep these people in power after all of this time, they need to be taken out in the public square in a horsewhip. Because here's the bottom line, people. Here's the bottom line. If Donald Trump wins re-election and he is the nominee or whatever, and he wins re-election, when you're at the bottom, there's nothing else to fear at this point. We are at the bottom of this social economic situation. We're at the bottom. Black people are the least maintained. Everybody else's issue comes before us. Oh, there's a war in this. We got to give money over here. We got to give money. Everything is prioritized over Black people. We've survived 4 years of Donald Trump. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Donald Trump wants to become a dictator, right? How does that affect Black people? It doesn't. You're at the bottom. It doesn't. You have nothing to lose. You have no wealth. You have nothing. If anything, okay, here's a better example. During the Cuban Revolution, who are the people that is bitching and moaning about Castro the most? 80% of Cuba look like us. People they look like us. They're dark-skinned people. 80% of Cubans. It's the white Cubans that complain about Castro and what happened to them and everything that they lost. Those are the people that have things to lose. If Donald Trump becomes a dictator, not saying that that's going to happen. I'm not wishing that would happen. But the fact of the matter is, as Black people, compared to the other groups in this country, we have nothing to fear because we are the lowest on the economic and social post. So again, to put the Democrats in power to save democracy, why is it up to us to save democracy when we're the least to experience it? Why is that? So don't fall into this fear-mongering thing, whatever. It is best to sit it out. I'm going to tell anybody that. If you don't want to do a punitive vote against the Democratic Party, it's best to sit it out because both of these parties uphold white supremacy. When the Asians got their bill, did the Asian bill pass with 70-30? Or was it overwhelmingly, both houses overwhelmingly voted that in? It was overwhelmingly voted in by both houses, Republican and Democrat. There was no opposition. I think there was maybe one or two, basically, in opposition of the bill. But when the Civil Rights Bill was voted in the 1960s, 68, 60, whatever, the voting rights and all that other good stuff, how many Democrats were against it? Almost all of them. So you mean to tell me we're sitting here in 2024 and we're worried about a Donald Trump presidency or dictatorship? We ain't got nothing to lose.
I mean, in regards to dictatorship, nothing sounds more like a dictatorship from somebody saying, listen to me, I know what I'm talking about. Y'all gonna have to learn how to get along with the Hispanics. You know, Joe Biden is a dictator. He sounds more like a dictator. Yeah, I know Trump has said those things, but you know, who's actually doing those things now? If you ask me, see, that's the problem. We're told that We have democracy again. See, this is the problem though with us as people, and I'm not even saying black people. I'm just saying as humans, as in general, we don't have the ability to listen and dissect what we're listening to. Somebody tells you out of one side of their mouth, you are benefiting from democracy and you have a say-so, democracy is in danger, but then they get up in the White House and talk about I said, and I can even say it with Congress. They all act as a dictatorship. You don't have a say-so. When you send them to Congress, you're saying, hey, I like you. I'm sending you there to do what I, would like collectively, right? Yeah. We're going to get there. We're going to do it. Then they get there and they do something totally the opposite of what you're asking. We know what's best. We're going to do what's best for us. So that is a dictatorship. You, the American people, do not benefit from democracy. It's all games to make you think that you have a say-so in anything the way America runs, because if you had a say-so, you wouldn't be paying these high-ass gas prices. Inflation would be reasonable. You'd be able to get you, buy you a house and pay a reasonable mortgage. Black people, we would have a reparations check. We'd have a hate crime bill. We have police reform. We have everything that we wanted if we're truly in a dictatorship. But go up to the White House right now if you think I'm playing and say, oh, hey, Congress, I know y'all going to meet. You don't mind if I sit in here, do you? And they're going to say, no, first of all, you can't get in here. But let's say they did let you up in there. Great. I like everything y'all saying. But since I have democracy, right? I have a say-so. Said I have a say-so. Well, I want this to happen. They're going to tell you, get the hell out of here. Okay? So stop believing that you have a say-so. You, especially black people in America, have never, ever, and when I say ever, I do mean never, ever, had a say-so as to how anything runs in this country. And don't you for a minute believe that now, because it's election season, and that's the mantra of the Democratic Party, that all of a sudden you run around here with all these memorandums telling people the way it's gonna be. It's a lie. And Black America, I see you on here. You say, hey, Lisa, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. I love it. Appreciate you for that. Let me put that up here. Black America, I see you saying that's not true. I don't know what you talking about, but we're going to surely get to the bottom of it. Let's see here. So Lisa Cabrera, y'all please go check out her channel. I know most of y'all know who Lisa is, but in case you don't, go check her out. She covers a wide variety of topics and is unapologetically Black and speaks up for Black America on a regular basis. So please go check out her channel. Information all the time.
All the time. And she has beautiful cat. She has a beautiful cat.
Of course, you would know that. Donovan being a cat man himself. I say he is the cat man of Moreno Valley. He got 19 cats in his yard. But thank you so much, Lisa. I love and appreciate you for that. Yes, Jay Bubba, we are live. And you say, if Clyburn is scared, he won't get those biscuits. When Trump win the primary today, they will lose it. Joy Reid is already having a fit. I mean, she can't control what they're doing in the Republican Party. Why should she care about what they're doing? And that's been the thing. They're trying to stop Trump from taking the helm of the Republican Party. But the people who are voting, for whatever reason, that's who they want. And, I was listening to this newscast today, and it was making a lot of sense. I tried to listen to different, sets of information, and they're saying, I don't think it's that people are in love with Trump as much as they want to get back to some sort of normalcy in regards to the economy. Like, people are so fixed on emotions and not really thinking about logically. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said earlier in the podcast that we did, it is said that a millennial, somebody trying to buy a home today, is going to pay about $1,500 more for a mortgage than normal. So people are wanting to get back to where they can afford to just breathe air, and they feel like Donald Trump is going to set the country back on that path, because whether we care or believe it or not, when he was in office, people, were doing financially better. So you can't argue with people's pocketbooks. You just can't do it.
Excellent. What you're saying is spot on, because again, reality is what you see out your front door. At the end of the day, Ronald Reagan said, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? If you're not, here's where we're at. When we talk about dictatorship, if the Democratic Party actually believed in democracy, where's their primary? Where's their primary? Even Barack Obama, the last Democrat that was in office, he had a primary and primary challenges. It is repulsive in a so-called republic or democratic society for a candidate to run unopposed. That's repugnant. Barack Obama had to justify why he should be reelected, and he had a primary challenger. Primary challenger didn't do very well, but the point is he had to sell his ideas back. And of course, I got duped, Demetra got duped, a lot of you guys got duped in voting for this man twice. But again, when you guys are arguing with your family members, just what I've been telling you guys, I mean, think about this. Does this make sense or not? And you guys just tell me in the chat. If it makes sense, to just give me a 1 if it makes sense. I've already told you that when we're at the bottom, we have nothing to fear. We should not be fearing anything because we are at the bottom of the economic scale in this country. But agree with me or disagree with me. If you give Joe Biden a second term, what do you expect to get when he's not facing re-election in a second term? What do you expect to get? Are you going to be that foolish and give this man a second term when he didn't give you nothing in the first term? If you don't get it in the first term, you're not going to get it. It's as simple as that. So what you do is you don't re-elect this person, you re-elect somebody else. If we had a primary, you might have a better option, and you have a better option to get something with the newer person. But you give this guy 4 years, as our baby boomers and everybody else is getting older, this is the Democratic Party's way of delay, 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 delay. So you're looking at another 4 years of getting nothing. Then the Republicans come in. Let's say they do 8 years. Now you've lost 12 years till you got to the next Democrat. And then he's going to promise everything. And in the first term, totally ignore you. Totally ignore you. So again, when you guys are arguing these points, we're at the bottom of the economic scale. So there's nothing to fear. We have nothing. We have nothing to lose. They stole it all. They stole a third of all black wealth was stolen in 2008. And a so-called black president did not make us whole again, but he secured the banks. The people that took advantage of us, he secured the banks. Okay. So these are facts. This man is asking you to reelect him at 80-something years old to a second term. Notice, has he spoken anything specific to black people that stood by him and stood by his side? I'm going to stand by yours. He hasn't said one word. By doing these little platitudes, oh, I'm going to, relieve $12,000 of student debt for certain people. This, that. These little platitudes that has nothing to do with black people. We said specifically black people. If this man gets a second term, you guys, if you think being at the bottom is bad, it's a wrap for black people at that point.
Thunder, you say somebody we both know is asking about that lipstick of yours. What brand is it? So normally it just depends. This is Fenty. So I have a couple of Fenty, which is Rihanna. She's black. Then I also have Sephora, which is, I don't know who owns it. I'm sure they're not black, but it's cheaper. And then sometimes I wear MAC called Ruby Woo. So those three is what I usually wear. So today I'm actually wearing this one because it stays on with me running my mouth all day long. I hope that helps. The one, he said, do black people care about democracy or do they care about the economy, immigration, invading? Right. But again, democracy is that word, just like when Obama was running and Coulter actually called it out. She says Obama never, and the Democrats, they never defined hope and change. They never defined it. It was their mantra. They ran around saying it, hope and change, hope and change, hope and change. But she said nobody ever asked them to define it. Like, what does that mean even? Because everybody is like this. Vote blue no matter who. What does that even mean? So it's what they do, right? They study these things to figure out how to get people. It's like when you listen to a song. You ever notice yourself listen to a song that you hate, or it might just come on the radio, and then you find yourself singing it. You're like, oh, I hate that song. That's because it's strategic to get into the minds and the psyches of the people they're trying to reach, the target audience. And so the key word has been, for the last couple of years, is democracy. Democracy is in danger. Black people, if we need you to save democracy, if democracy, something happens to it, then it's because you didn't save it. That's what they're saying in reverse without really saying it. So, we need to get good at saying, well, what does that even mean? And like you said, should we care more about the economy? Should we care more about immigration invading our communities? Because those are the things that's hurting us. This whole democracy thing is a lie. We've never had a say so. Why are we gonna get one now?
Well, what y'all need to do is stop sloganizing. Stop sloganizing. That's the problem. Y'all be sloganizing.
Well, that's what they doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
How you doing? It says Trump brings God in the picture. Biden brings the devil. Honestly, I think they both the devil. But at this point in the juncture, since it's going to be one of them, and they're saying that you got to choose between lesser two evils, they have, I guess, dance with the devil, that ain't going to bite you too hard, or whatever they're going to do with they pitchfork. I don't know, Pop, how you doing? Says Joe's going to be a one-term president. I think he's going to be a one-term president as well. I just don't, I don't see him getting back in there. Amanda, you say the real Thunder and Frank were just talking about your lipstick. Okay, so I didn't see it. I guess, are you guys on Facebook? Is that why I didn't see it? I don't know. I didn't see it.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, Dimitri. I know we got our co-hosts in the chat there. In your opinion, if Donald Trump is the nominee and Joe Biden, who's running unopposed, or he's running opposed, but they don't want to bring people up, who do you think is going to win, in your honest opinion?
He said between Trump and Biden. We've seen some stranger things. So I don't want to say definitively, but I think Trump is going to win. And I think they know that, which is why Trump has, and I'm not saying he's innocent, because I'm not saying that. I'm sure he's done some things. But I think it has a lot to do with why they have so many lawsuits leveled against him, because they figuring, well, one has got to stick, right? But to the point that he's saying, I mean, you find the president, former president, guilty, then that sets a precedent where you have to start finding the ones from here on out guilty. And to think that Trump is the only one that's committed some sort of a crime while in the White House, then you need to do some research. But yeah, I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win. And I think the more and more we hear about these states wanting to take him off the ballot and do all this other stuff, I think it's going to really wake people up. Like, okay, well, if we have a democracy, why are you as the states deciding for us as to who is going on this ballot? Let us have a say. So I would say that about California, even though I have a lot of criticism of Gavin Newsom. He says, because they were proposing to take Trump off the ballot. And he says, nah, we're going to whoop him at the polls. If the people want Trump, then they'll decide that at the polls. If they don't want him, then they can also decide that. But for us to be running around taking him off the ballot, no, we're going to do it fair and square. So
well, the thing is it really fair and square when California is basically a Democratic state? If you're a Republican, you're not winning nothing here, unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger and you really don't know what you're doing, and people like the symbolism of it. But yeah, to me, that's a no-brainer in regards to keeping him on the ballot. He's not going to win here.
Well, as far as and we're going to open up the link in just a second. As far as the DNC, that's who they want. There was rumblings earlier on within the DNC Democratic National Convention that they didn't want Biden. At first, they didn't even want Kamala, and that would have been unheard of, because they were talking about replacing her and putting somebody, taking her off and putting her on somebody else on there. But then it's never been done before. And then, they don't want to continue to plant doubt inside of the Democratic voters' minds. In addition to it, will prove the point of what a lot of people are saying, especially here in Black media, that they only got Kamala to use her to get the Black vote. But the DNC, they can't really take Biden off. They could, but they won't, because then they have to admit that they made a mistake. And they're not going to admit that they made a mistake. For one thing, no shade to anybody who's older. Biden is he's pretty seasoned. And looking at him and listening to him, it's obvious that he's got something going on. You know what I mean? And so to think that he's going to have another 4 years of that, does it get worse? You know, like what's going on here? So, and it's not just Black people that have a problem with Biden. It's people who got student loan debt, who are trying to figure out how to put food on the table. They tell us inflation is dropping, but it's not dropping enough to where people are seeing a difference in their bank accounts. You still got a lot of jobs that are low wage. So there's a lot of things going on where people are like, we're looking for some financial relief because, as they say in the hood, don't nothing move but the money, okay? And without money, don't nothing move. So I hope that helps. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing? Yes, Ruby Woo by MAC. It's a very, very good lipstick. It has a nice pigment. And trust me, I don't know a whole lot about makeup. Pamela, you say, just say no to voting for Democrats. Well, you know, that I'm just leave that up to y'all, but it has to make sense, right? Hello, Miss Roach, how you doing? You says, I'm sorry for this. The politicians are a joke. Donovan is right about the Democrats. I'm scared if Donald Trump runs and gets into office, the economy will be good or bad or good. Well, some people are saying that, you know, it's going to be better, which is why they want to vote for him. Let's see. Tanaya, how you doing? Says, hey, Dimitri and Donovan, honestly, both candidates are horrible for Black people. Trump got this country in ish load of debt, and bills didn't benefit from the highest tax cut for the rich. So you said it didn't benefit from the tax cuts from the rich.
Well, let me ask you this. We were in war for over 20 years, $17 trillion spent, not including the $3 trillion that Donald Rumsfeld acknowledged the day before 9/11 actually happened, and the building that wasn't hit that housed the records of the receipts of the $3 trillion for the Pentagon lost. $20 trillion gone. And we're going to blame Donald Trump for the debt that we incurred? Doesn't make sense.
And Thunder says, if we keep this up, there will be a lot of unemployed Democrats. Let's go, family. And Khalil, how you doing? Says, are you voting for Trump? I haven't decided who I'm voting for, but I do know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that I am not voting for Joe Biden. I'm just not going to do it. There's no reason for me to vote for Joe Biden. So I hope that helps a little bit. Rodney, how you doing? Says, Black first. He says, near north side of Chicago and reparations now, or no vote for either party. And that's what a lot of people are saying. They're like, the couch looks good.
Right. Hey, and Rodney, how is your mayor doing? I heard he's having panic attacks in dealing with the migrant crisis up there.
Yeah, they sound like they're trying to keep that under wraps. But, you know, I would imagine he's having a hard time. It didn't give what he thought it was going to give. Because, traditionally, Black people be like, well, you done overlooked us again. I guess we'll just wait until next time, won't we? But Black people are getting on cold and saying, nah, sucker. Not this time, sucker. And he's just getting the brunt end of it, which he should. You know, Black people voted for you. In fact, Black voters in Chicago voted for him to the tune of 88%. Latinos voted for him to the tune of about 50%. So I was even, and white people, I think he got the majority of vote for them, like they said, between 40 and 50%. But nevertheless, he benefited from the Black vote, and then he's just basically thumbing his nose at Black people, and he think he should just be able to sleep at night. No, you should lose a lot of sleep. You should lose as much sleep as homeless Black people are sleeping on those trains until you feel like they're just as important like you do with the migrants. So sorry. But, you know, maybe he'll learn next time, and then maybe he won't. Tanaya, you say, newsflash, Black people, Republicans are not giving reparation either. Wake up. No, we never said that they are. But guess what? The Republicans ain't doing. They not. Hey, Black people, we got a fish fry for you. We got some twerking to the polls. We got this campaign with Saucy Santana and Trina talking about no voting, no fucking. And guess what? They also don't have the sororities, you know, strolling to the polls. And guess what else they ain't doing? They're not saving souls to the polls at church either. They're not doing none of that. It's the Democrats that are doing that and then they're benefiting from the Black vote, and then they go and they help everybody else. That's what the problem is. And Tanaya, and you know, I know you to be a very smart person, but so when we say the Republicans aren't doing it either, then it also says, well, we're going to negate that the party that benefits from Black votes the most, well, we're just not going to have that discussion because the Republicans aren't doing it. If you benefit from me, then I should be doing something for you in return. There's a term in business that says with them. What's in it for me? As Black people, when we go to the booth and vote for somebody, it should be what's in it for me. Now, you keep talking about the Republicans. The Democrats do for everybody else. And when it comes to Black people saying, Motisa, can I get any soup left for me? We can't afford it right now. We just don't have it in the budget. Well, I'm not going to do anything just for Black people now. Or how
You're going to do a study.
How about this? I'll be damned if I'm made to feel responsible for something my ancestor did, 300 years ago. That was Kamala and Joe Biden telling you as Black people, I'm not doing nothing specifically for you. But then we open our mouth and say, well, neither are the Republicans. But again, the Republicans don't benefit from Black votes. They just don't.
Right. And then, we could never forget, we're going to do a study. We're going to do a study. Or the most famous Democrat thing is, how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for it? Who stopped the legislation of the Democratic Party in regards to, it was something that they were going to do, and Joe Manchin and what's her name? Two of them. They know what to do. Yeah, it's cinema. So this is what they do. This is what the Democratic, it's a stall tactic. This is what they do. Both parties do it. So right now you're dealing with a House and a Senate that says anything for Black people, it's 50-50 with them. But when it comes to Black people, it was the Democrats themselves. Did you guys notice that Nancy Pelosi did not even put the study on the floor of the House, a study, because she said nobody would vote for it. Now, this is her own caucus. She can't control the Republican caucus. So that tells you there's a lot of Democrats that don't want Blacks to have anything.
Hello. So I'm open up the link. Let me get down to the rest of these comments, and I'm going to open up the link. And hey, how you doing, by the way? Baisley, H. Baisley, is that what it is? Says Marianne Williamson is still on the ballot. I'm going to vote for her in South Carolina. Yeah, you can as a protest vote. She ain't going to win, but you can as a protest vote to send a message to Joe Biden that, not today.
Wait a minute, Demetra. Wait a minute. If you don't, if you vote for any other candidate, you're throwing your vote away. Is that true?
No, I mean, it's a vote. It's a, if you live in a democracy, shouldn't you be able to vote for who you want to vote for? If you can run around talking about vote blue no matter who, then I should be able to vote for whoever I want to vote for. And Rodney says, what do you guys think about the independent party? Yeah, sure. Why not? Independent, nonpartisan, be that way. No one has to are able. Okay, I got you. No one is able to assume that you are going to vote for them. John, how you doing? It says red, blue. They both stick it in from both directions. Yeah, to say the least. Abu, how you doing? It says our economy is one that is based on taking, because we no longer have resources as in gold, and we print more than we have in resources. So we need social imbalances to fuel our economy. Okay. Jay Bubba, he says, give me Trump, send the migrants back home, and tell Ukraine to hold their own. Gotcha. All right, let me skip down so I can catch up. Oh, really? How you doing? It says that person was disingenuous when stating Trump is the problem, especially financially. Yeah, and people have a right to feel how they feel. There's a lot of people just don't like Trump, and I see a lot of misinformation on the internet regarding both parties. But I just know that a lot of people said that they were better off under Trump. Can't tell them that wasn't true, because we hear a lot of people saying that ain't true. It's like, well, how you know? How you know it ain't true? Trish, how you doing? And see, Tyler, what's going on with you? Who else came on here? Rock, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says Brandon Johnson for president and Eric Adams for vice president. It can't get nowhere. I don't know. Are you serious? Are you serious? And Black First All My Life, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, I'll make the couch my polling place. A lot of people are saying that. They said it's a choice between actually going out there to vote and the couch. A lot of people are like, I'll just stay home and just watch the returns on TV, I guess. But that is your choice, because a lot of times people say, well, sitting home and sitting on the couch, that's a vote for Trump. It's like, that's not true. You're choosing not to vote. It's not a vote for Trump. Because on the other hand, why couldn't it be a vote for Biden? Because that's the Democratic talking points. Well, if you don't get out there and do what everybody else that's Black is doing for the most part, and that's vote for the Democrats, then you are actually voting for Trump. Donovan will be back. I don't know where he went. Let's see here. Who else came on here? Sunday says, I'm talking about voting and writing in a candidate named Comfy Sofa for president. A lot of people are probably going to be doing that. They're going to be like, what? I remember California, one of the governor elections, you had people voting for Harambe and Hello Kitty. It was a whole lot of shenanigans going on. But, at the end of the day, if you can write in somebody, then you should do that. So let's see here. Who else? John, how you doing? Says, greetings, fam. I'd rather vote for Marianne Williamson. At least she's for reparations. Yeah, you totally can do that. Beulah, how you doing? Says, the Black leaders are truly in the F around and find out season. Year 2016 was the first occurrence. I'm trying to take cover. Yeah, they were starting to see the seepage from the Democratic Party to that of President Trump. Then, and then of course in 2020 seen even more. Now they're reporting that more and more, even of this day, that if the elections were held today, that Trump would more than likely be victorious over that of President Joe Biden. Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this question. What do you think we have to lose if Trump wins? What is it we got to lose? I mean, even Trump himself said, why not? What do you got to lose? The Democrats ain't giving you nothing. So what do you got to lose? And, let's give the people their props. The First Step Act, that was Donald Trump. Do you guys agree that the repeal of the 1994 crime bill, which was authored by Joe Biden, that incentivizes states to lock up these private prisons, wouldn't that be something that he can say, I did specifically for Black and brown people, whatever you want to say? No, he's not doing that. And Nancy Pelosi and them could have overridden that stuff, but they just won't do it. So to sit here and tell me that the Democratic Party is the party of the people, I'll give you a better example. During the Obama years, when this thing actually came into practice, they said, what is the most problem in politics? They said money in politics. Joe Biden for 2 years had the House and the Senate. Why didn't they repeal the Citizens United verdict? Well, why didn't they repeal that act? Because it's all a grift. Everything's a grift. But see, they know that as Americans, we have a very short memory span.
And Miss Sweet Talk, she says, is Cornel West a candidate to vote for? I mean, I say if you are interested in a protest vote, we know that Marianne or Cornel is not going to win, but I think at the very least, it'd be a good protest vote for the people who says, well, you need to get out there and do it because your ancestor, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Let me get out there and let me vote for Cornel or, Marianne, whatever. We know they're not going to win. First, they actually need to win some primaries, which most people aren't even talking about Marianne or Cornel at this point. So you can do that if you want. Sure.
Yeah. And then you also got to remember, if you go to his webpage, Cornel West is a kind of an everybody candidate. He isn't specific to Black people. He's for everybody doing the right thing or whatever. And also, you got to take into mind, Cornel is in his early 70s. So again, we have ageism as a problem. And I said this in our last podcast. How does somebody who was born in the silent generation or whatever can solve problems in the modern age, in the new generation? I mean, you are what you are. You only know what you know. So.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get down to the bottom here, and then I'm going to open up this link. Carlos, how you doing, sis? And let's see, Jay, if I didn't already say hello to you, says, why are they fighting for our vote, but not catering to what we want? Everybody else votes for specific exchanges for their group because we're not expected to. We have been conditioned as Black people to just get out there and do it. A symbolism, right? They guilt us into, your ancestors died for the right to vote. And as I always say, they did not die for the right to vote. They died for us to actually get something for the vote. They didn't die for you just go in there and say, I did it. Here's my sticker. That's not why they did it. They did it so you can actually move the ball. So Rock, he says, if we stop with the black language, we'll get the checks. American Freeman lineage, AFL. Okay. They know who we are. They know. Abdul says, you're right. I don't have nothing to lose. That's why I'm voting. You're voting for either Democrat or Republican. Okay. Or do you say you're not? I don't know. Let's see here. Black America says crime bill doesn't matter if it was what's best for the community at the time. Let's see. Skipping on down. Turner, how you doing? Says never forget the public's vote only counts toward the popular vote. The electoral college vote is the only one that truly matters. They hold the caucus in Iowa as being the voice of America. F out of here. So you're absolutely right. The popular vote, they'll count those, but it's actually the electoral vote that counts. So you're absolutely right, which would really make you think, right? Lena, how you doing? Says we voting for us to die. Oh Lord. Norris, how you doing? Says I don't understand why black people are even concerned with voting. Why do we even keep thinking or talking or concerned with it? Yeah, like you said once before, that you started voting later on in life, but in the meantime, you were just getting after it, right? By doing for self. And that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said to us. Neither party cares for black people. Whoever's in the White House, whether it's liberal or conservative, they don't care for black people. They're not going in the White House to legislate on behalf of black people. So we need to learn how to do for self. Of course, that doesn't mean that they don't owe us something like reparations. But in the meantime, we need to get after doing for self. And building our nation. I think personally that'll make it a little bit easier for us to get the reparations when we actually become a force to be reckoned with, because we know, especially in this country, we make up about the 10th wealthiest country with the money that we see in Black America every year. So if we were to use more of that for economical empowerment, and of course, as Dr. Claude Anderson tells us to do, vote better as a block of people opposed to voting against our oppression, then these politicians will start to say, okay, we got to start taking black people seriously. No longer are they just running around talking about I'm voting blue no matter who, and all I need is a fish fry and I'm gonna be all right. They'll take us a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, and it's very important in verbiage. Now, remember, we were asking for reparations. We got to stop saying that. We're demanding reparations now. Do you see the difference in the word usage? We're demanding it. And that's what we got to start doing. No more asking, because when you have to ask somebody, then that means they have the power to decide if you're going to get it or not. No, we're going to demand it because it's something that we're owed. So we got to start saying demand.
Absolutely. I hear you, Abdul. Carla, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says, I'm sitting it out. Black Butterfly, how you doing? And DW, what's going on with you? Says, I'm going to do what I did last election, which is write in reparations. Yeah, it's your right to do that. If you can write in somebody, you can write whatever you want. Like I said, I've seen it all. Especially, I was in California, Donovan, when people were writing in Harambe, Hello Kitty, and a whole bunch of stuff because they just weren't in love with, I forget what it was at the time. But C. Tyler says, that's stupid. Vote blue no matter who. Yeah, that's what people running around saying. And Milo Factor, how you doing? Says, Joe Biden showing up empty-handed in South Carolina speaks volumes. Right. Well, James Clyburn there, who allows him to come in there and talk to black people about voting for more or nothing. Joe Biden's like, I ain't got to do nothing but show up with an empty wagon making all that noise, and they gonna love me regardless, right? So anyway, I'm about to share this link. And as I said, if you have nothing pertinent to add to this conversation, please hold your commentary till we are discussing that. But I'd like to hear from you all in regards to this topic at hand. Again, if I have not seen you on here or do not know who you are, please show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen. That way I can verify that there are no shenanigans involved, because we had that happen once. And trust me, I'm a believer. It'll never happen again. Race Pace, she says, people with the sit out attitude are almost not thinking logically and are slapping our ancestors in the face. Right in, Dr. West, instead of doing nothing. Well, I just feel like it's their right to do that. He said they're slapping the ancestors in the face. It's a slap the ancestors in the face when we go and vote for nothing. They didn't tell us to just go up in there and do it, twirl around in the booth, and then come out and holler to everybody, I did it. That was what would be more homage to our ancestors if we said, hey, y'all fight for, as I call it, the false idea of civil rights, but at least y'all was fighting for something, right? Y'all got something. We haven't gotten anything since that. So that the big payback for them is to actually move the ball forward and get something. Way it's going now, we are getting something for everybody else and not Black people. And so if you, and I'm not telling you to do it, but if you want to sit home on the couch and have some popcorn, whatever you want to do, that is your right to do that. But the ancestors ain't going to be mad, but they're going to be mad if you keep on getting people in office who keep slapping their rear end at you.
Right, and you know, and I see where you're coming from with that aspect, but it's not a slap in the ancestors' face, because we've been voting the way they've been teaching us to vote. Like, again, I'm a recovering Democrat, and all I've been getting is a sticker that says I vote. Louisiana showed by sitting out the power you have by just not participating. Do you go into a store and you see nothing that you want, but you leave your money and you leave? No. You wait until they have something that you want in the store, and then you go buy it. So another option for us to do, just like they did in Louisiana, and I was so proud of them because I was born in Louisiana, but I was so proud of them and highly surprised. They sat it out when they could have had the opportunity of the symbolism of getting a Black governor. What was the Black governor going to do for them? When the Black guy that was running for governor, what did he say he was going to do for Black people in Louisiana? In the words of the great Jerry Monroe, not a damn thing. And the Black people sat it out because neither of those candidates were offering them anything to vote for. So it is a tool to be used. You know, again, you know, I'm not telling people how to vote, how you're going to do it, but it is a tool. And guess what? Look at all the pundits, MSNBC, Fox, CNN. They all gauged the numbers and said these people were registered to vote and decided not to. So we're not telling you don't register to vote. I do believe you should register to vote. But however, that doesn't mean you have to vote. And this is how they're going to gauge the numbers.
Hey, Carlos, how you doing?
Hi, y'all. How you doing?
A long time no see.
Oh, I'm over here doing some things, moving and shaking and quiet.
What's on your mind, sis?
It's so funny that that you just said Gary, because Gary said that Trump was coming back in office. He said that. He said that. He said, you watch what I tell you. He said he coming back. And I believe it. People are sick of Biden. Biden, what? What is he doing? He ain't doing nothing. I ain't gonna say Trump is the best thing to be in office, but I'm just trying to figure out how. I look at California, because that's where we're from. And you got all these homeless people. And I mean, I've never seen that in my whole 50 years of living. I've never seen Los Angeles look like that. And you got the audacity to be asking people, not just in California, but in other states, to take in these immigrants. Have y'all lost y'all damn mind? And you won't help the people that have served this country. You won't help the people with mental illness. Americans can't even give food stamps. But you're going to shut down the schools in New York and other states to house immigrants that wouldn't house us in a tent. And we always looking out for somebody else. And who the hell finna look out for us?
Right. And like you said, even the audacity to say, hey, can y'all put some of them up in your homes? Y'all got an extra bedroom?
Right. I said, the White House got a whole bunch of rooms. Why the hell you ain't housing them up over there?
And not only a bunch of rooms, they all got extra houses, you know, and they stayed in this over here, Martha's Vineyard. So y'all got vacancies?
Send them to the Hamptons.
Right.
Well, they actually did. Was that the Hamptons or wherever it was? And they put them on the plane and sent them right back. They actually did. They were like, ain't no migrants coming over here. Martha's Vineyard, that's where it was. Send the Martha's Vineyards, and they said, get them the hell up out of here.
Right. They don't want them in their neighborhoods, but you want the regular people to come and say, oh, you're so welcome here. Okay, I feel for y'all. I get it. But God damn it, I feel for us more.
Right,
Because what about our veterans?
and
What
and
about our homeless? What about our, come on now.
well, and then you got to remember, again, Black people, we live in the moment because we're trying to survive day to day. That's just a fact. We live day to day, most of us. How many of you remember 15,000 Haitians sitting on the border of Texas? Biden flew down federal airplanes and got them up out of there within a week. 15,000, but yet they're coming to Black-skinned people, talk about vote for us. And I'm not an open borders person, but I'm just saying you got to be fair across the board. How are you going to come to me and you're going to throw these people completely out that actually came to this country under humanitarian reasoning? They didn't come in here for economic reasoning. Their president had just got assassinated and all that other stuff. So they came here under political and humanitarian causes, and we flew them right back into that hellhole.
Well, guess what? We better be humanitarians for our own. Because I send them right back to their hellhole too. Because we got too many over here that need help. I'm just saying, like, I just can't see us trying to help everybody else, and you can't help those in your own backyard. That shit don't. I'm sorry, that stuff don't make no sense.
No, it really doesn't. Be easy. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Had to catch y'all while the iron was hot. How y'all doing?
We're doing marvelous. What's on your mind?
It's a lot on my mind, and salute the sister that just spoke. I want to touch on some things that y'all was touching on earlier, but I'll piggyback off what she was saying because it's a growing sentiment where, people are doing the kind of political and moral bullying and shaming Black people to be their like mules for their issues. So for instance, Mark Lamont Hill has had like a recent viral speech where he was going off at the Black church, for allowing Biden to speak, but he was also praising those protesters that came in there shouting free Palestine. If you look at him and a bunch of other pundits, it's like free Palestine all day. And look, I support a ceasefire, etc. But some of these people make 20 posts and all 20 of them are about Palestine. And then people are saying, oh, the connection, you got to draw the connection. And look what Malcolm said about Palestine. And I've heard many like pundits, and these are people that are sophisticated. I like their analysis, but they don't talk about nothing Black. So, I had to kind of fall back a little bit, and they're telling me that, hey, their red line is the genocide in Palestine. So it's like, look, when I'm talking to people in the hood, the average person, regardless of race, is living paycheck to paycheck. The first thing that come up is not, the Palestinian or Hamas and Israel conflict. So have you guys been seeing that, or have you experienced that where people are trying to bully you into weighing in on that issue?
Yeah, which is why most of us in Black media have not that we're not paying attention to what's going on. So there's a few things. One, Black people in general, we're always going to everybody else's burning house per se, right? Whenever something happens with somebody else or some other group, then we're and we leave our own issue. So number one, we want to focus on our thing, right? The other thing is, especially on a lot of these platforms, we can't talk about it like that because there's a lot of censorship going on and all that other stuff. And the other thing is, to your point, we will not be bullied into that. And a lot of people are mad that the Black media, the real Black media, are just like, well, we see it, we have an opinion, but we just gonna continue doing what we're doing. So yeah, and which is why I'm not speaking about it because I'm oblivious to what's going on. I see everything that's going on for the most part, but we got to focus on our issues here in Black America because we've been in a genocide since we was on the plantation. So that's what we need to be focused on. But I have noticed it.
And that's the contradiction, right? Because black people do this and black people don't do this. You're not like these other groups. You at the bottom of this. And I like that you use the burning house analogy, right? Because I actually use that all the time. So our house is on fire. Our entire house is on fire. The neighbor's house about 10% on fire, and someone else's house is on fire in another country, and we're running out of our house like, we got to go put out the fire in another country. Oh, we got to help the neighbor, and meanwhile our house is burning to a crisp. And then you know what we say after that? God's plan.
Hey, I've been always told. I've always been told by my mama and my daddy, God bless the child that's got his own. Okay. So God wants us to have our own, be self-sufficient. You know, when our house catches a little spark, we need to be prepared to put it out instead of saying, everybody help us. We helped y'all. Now we need to be in position always when it comes to our people. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then
go ahead.
No, and then another thing too, like I liked how you guys were bringing up the Jim Django Clyburn when he was talking about stop sloganizing, and that's why we losing, because to defund the police. And then a lot of people bought onto that talking point, but when you just look at the metrics, none of those police departments were being defunded, and the ones that actually did get defunded, it was less than 2%. And you heard Joe Biden himself saying he wanted to fund the police. So how did that hurt them? And a lot of people bought into that, but their whole identity is sloganizing. And right now they're going on Kamala. It's just abortion 24/7. Like they're ramping up this abortion reproductive rights tour, and they're using a bunch of slogans too.
Well, you got to remember that they're doing that in regards to the sisterhood of women. And I'm not trying to make this a black man, men against women thing, but the Democrats have thinking that they're going to get these suburban moms and stuff to go on an issue that has to do with women's rights. And that's just the way to pull in strangled voters to come in on that one issue. So if you're a Republican woman, and the Republican women are rabid about being Republican women, and the Democrats are saying this is an issue that affects them, how do you think they're going to vote? Like, okay, I'll give you a better example. Have you heard about that in Florida? Ladies, in Florida, Ron DeSantis got away with forever alimony. The women in Florida, especially the white women, are losing their stuff. And they said they will never vote for Ron DeSantis again because he got rid of forever alimony. These type of wedge issues is what they do. And it's all a game. This is all a power game. They don't care about the people. It's all about power. And that's all they care about.
Absolutely. Entree, how you doing? Let me unmute you. I'm sorry. There you go. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I would say I'm going to go ahead and vote for Trump. And it's not that I'm a Trump fan, but I had more money when he was in office. I think Philip Scott did a breakdown, and he was like, more of us Black Americans were creating our own business and we were thriving. So to me, it's like, okay, do you want 4 more years of what you just got, which is high inflation, quote unquote, and your pockets turned inside out? Or, hey, I'll hold my nose and vote for you because there's a benefit. And then on top of that, these illegals got to go. I don't care where they go as long as it's not in America, but they have to go. All of this money for them that comes out of nowhere that they say they don't have when it pertains to us, yeah, that's got to stop.
So Pamela said Haley got 849 votes. Trump got 1,069 votes in New Hampshire. So I don't know if the primaries are over, but sounds like Trump is ahead. But she didn't do that bad if you're looking at the numbers. She still needed to win, so I don't know if it's over yet, but I guess it remains to be seen.
But
she's gonna get destroyed in South Carolina.
Yeah, that'll be
the
embarrassing.
issue.
But Mr. Jones, in regards to the illegal migrants, again,
Let's see who she is.
we know corporate Democrats and you got corporate Republicans. That's why Citizens United, neither party tries to get rid of it, because that's where they get a lot of their donors from. We all know they're bringing in these people because the corporations never want to pay top dollar to the American people for what it is they want to work. So they're bringing in these people coming here on economic hardships. Of course, our sanctions, that doesn't help the situation either. So knowing all of this stuff, that we know that these people are coming in to take jobs that Americans aren't doing or don't want, or we're not getting fairly paid. In your opinion, what do? We got AI now, and Dimitri and I were talking about it in an earlier show. Young people, you're not going to be able to buy the American dream. It's going to be renting the American dream. So what do you do when the jobs are significantly less and people are willing to come into this country through the court system, because the Supreme Court just ruled that they had to take down the razor wire in Texas to let these people come smashing over? What do we do when our own elected servants are making laws to basically water us down and basically wipe us out? How are we supposed to survive?
All right. First off, Governor Abbott already said he ain't doing that. So that's the other part of that is it that we don't want these jobs, or these companies are unwilling to pay us a fair rate for it? I think we need to, if you're going to back somebody locally and then statewide, make sure that they're about those interests that are your interests. If their interests don't align with yours, okay, you can't get my vote. Stop ringing my doorbell and texting me about nothing. And I think we're starting to slowly come around to that, and we're starting to move that way. Look, the Democrats are going to deny that we aren't going to vote for them until the very end. If they were smart, somebody from the DNC would have told Gavin Newsom, hey, stop delaying on that reparations thing, pay the people. And then you see how, okay, we may not want to give Black Americans this large check, but let's say it's like $75,000 a year or something like that. Hey, you can do a lot with $75,000. Then you put Newsom in there, he'll beat Trump if he would go through and start making the payments.
Absolutely. And I love what you said too, as far as, people try to conflate, they don't want to work, and the low paying wages. I mean, some people can't afford to work for minimum wage. You know what I mean? Yep. I can't afford to show up at your job and you pay me minimum wage. I got to pay for the car to get there. I got to pay for
Uber. A lot of people are taking Ubers to work.
Yeah, I got to pay for all that. So at the end of the day, it's like I'm in the negative because I showed up to work for that job. So also, it's like, why should people assume, well, it's a job, you should just be happy to be working? It was like, well, you need to pay me, a livable wage or somewhere close to it. But to shame me because I won't show up to work for minimum wage is like, no, shame on you.
And it's actually inhumane for you to subject yourself to that pay, because that means not only are you willing to be exploited, but you're allowing someone else to get exploited. Right? Like, that's the thing. People act like they're so humane. Oh, they don't even see the arrogance. Nancy Pelosi, some other people, they were saying, oh, well, when the immigrants come over, who else are going to pick the fruits? If I was an immigrant, that would be offensive. You saying I'm only like reserved to picking fruit? It's, you know what I mean? And now technology is advancing. If you just type in new age farm equipment, they got a lot of farm equipment that they're not even using as many as these illegal immigrants that is being portrayed. And there's also, which a lot of people there's I won't get too much into it on here, but there is a lot of unaccompanied minors coming across. And what is happening? America is the largest, child trafficking hub. You know, people don't talk about that, but they are so pro-life, right? So care about the kids, but they don't talk about all of these illegal crossings with those kids. And if they're undocumented, how do you know that they're families? They said it's been an influx of men, but if they're unaccompanied minors and just random men, they can grab any child and say, this is my kid. You don't have any documentation to say that they're a family, but they're getting benefits based on them being a family. So and then they just recently reported that now not even all of them are crossing the border. They're getting flights, and they have it said if you're a immigrant, no ID required, but you need your passport, social, everything for you. But if you're an illegal, no ID required.
Yeah, you can't even show up to the polls without an ID, but they letting people come over here, without ID. And I've also saw a lot of footage because, they're telling us that it's mostly Hispanics that are coming over here. Some, Black people from African countries or Caribbean countries, things like that. I saw videos of people coming from Russia, Asia.
A lot of Chinese.
Yeah, it's like, why y'all ain't talking about them? They coming over here, and it's like, what y'all doing here? And that's a long trek, ain't it? For y'all to be y'all, but some migrants in need or somehow. That's a long way to go.
And how many countries did they pass? Because this is the thing. Just listen to the Statue of Liberty, right? Because people like to praise that. Give us your tired, your poor, and all. It's no tired and poor in Oakland. It's no tired and poor in Chicago.
Right.
So give us your tired and poor, unless you're from America. If I'm dealing with drive-bys every day in Chicago, where can I seek asylum at? Can anyone answer that?
Right. But then again, like Dimitri and I said in an earlier podcast, and I know some people will disagree with me, and I'm not saying all baby boomers and silent generation people, but who right now has been in control of the government for over 40 years? That generation of people, they are still there. We got an 80-something-year-old president, and this is how they think. They're not worried about the next generations. It's the pull up the ladder. Good luck to you guys, because, in the 70s when I was young and fine and cute and had my drugs and my Cadillac and got my hose and all that other good stuff, life was good. But now I'm a great grandfather. It's over for me. I don't give a damn, because back in their day, show me a country that doesn't have a border. We are so messed up that a lot of people don't even realize this. Do you know in Japan and Korea, we spend billions of military dollars defending their borders, and you mean to tell me we can't defend ours?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
We can. I think if Trump gets in there, Governor Abbott can't run anymore. I would put him as my DHS, because I know that the border protection is going to be legit. There ain't gonna be no playing down there. That's a suggestion. That's what I would suggest. I also think we're talking about the migrants coming over. There was a story of migrant teenagers working in North Carolina at a cereal company and other places. Now, aren't those things don't they go against the child labor laws? I thought
They're supposed to.
Yeah, and yet no agency, Department of Justice, nobody's coming down, pressing charges and pushing the issue.
Yeah,
right.
The employers never get no heat because, like Donovan was alluding to, this is a corporate policy for both sides. The lobbyists, the donors, they are, they've been saying it flat out. Like I don't know why people are still confused about it. They've been saying this flat out. What you was talking about, the child labor, they're doing it over in Michigan too, working them like 18 hours. Some of the kids as young as 9. And there was a report, I don't remember exactly, but one of the kids had got injured. But this is what America was built on. Like there was like blood wars fought to even have any type of worker rights. Like, the country and government never wanted workers to have rights like this.
Absolutely. So anybody else have anything else to add before I let somebody else up?
No, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love the broadcast. I try to catch y'all whenever I can.
And we love you being here. So come back and see us again. Be Easy, have anything else to add before I let somebody else come up?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me up, and you guys are doing a great broadcast. I will say another thing about since the brother was talking about Texas. I don't know if you guys seen it, but Tucker Carlson had put out a thing like a tweet or something. And you know, all of his stuff goes viral, talking about where are the men in Texas to defend the border, because he was crying about how the Supreme Court, sided with Biden with the barbed wire. And it's people like him that's getting all of these views, and people hold him up as like he's just some smart, virtuous person. But the dude is from California, right? Where was Tucker at defending the California border? So you're trying to incite all of these people to go out there and do.
Be careful, because you don't want to be telling people to do that, because then you'll be having an answer for that too.
Exactly. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Come back and see us again.
The funny thing is, Demetra, we've been doing these casts for a long time. And, sometimes when we did them and you only had 13 people watching, and ladies and gentlemen, we don't do this for likes and clicks. We do this to get the information out and let you make your own decisions, because again, the most dangerous voter is an ignorant voter. That's the most dangerous voter. So if you got the information, do what it is, what you will with that information. But I do have to say, and you guys, I've been with Demetra since, we've known since we're in high school, but we've been doing this for at least 6 or 7 years on the podcast. Seeing the intelligent people that have come on the show, also educating us and giving us information, and and just doing all this, it makes it all worth it. Because like I said, if we can change 1, 2, 3 people, not to vote the way we want them to vote, but to give them a different perspective, it's all worth it. Again, I'm the recovering Democrat. Why was I a Democrat? Because my mama raised me to be a Democrat. My daddy was a Democrat. My grandfather was a Democrat. Everybody was a Democrat. Just vote Democrat. Vote, 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 vote. But then when I started realizing I keep voting and my situation is not getting any better, and now people are seeing where we're at, and again, when I say my situation wasn't any better, I was in the military, but I'm saying in regards to my people, we weren't getting any better. Why is it that we are worse off now than we were before the civil rights movement? Please explain to me how people who were released from slavery with just the clothes on their backs could go and build Black Wall Street and get it out of the mud together. And here we are with all this technology and stuff, and we got the gender wars between us. We got this, that, and this, that. We have to come together at this point, because another Democratic administration will be catastrophic for the Black community. And I know people say we don't have a community. For Black people, it's going to be catastrophic. If you didn't think if we didn't get nothing in this first term, and you're sitting here thinking this man's going to give you something on the second term, I got some beachfront property for you right there in Nevada. If you're thinking like that.
Yeah, another thing is, if he really wanted to do something for us, he would do it now. So we'll say, "Hey, I want some more of that," But they know us. They have studied Black people. They studied the dynamics of the Black voter, and they know all we got to do is lie to them, keep the carrot in front of them, and they'll continue to show up for more of nothing. But that's definitely changing. What say you, Corliss?
I say they ain't gonna get nothing but some soft PP and some hard bubble gum.
I personally don't want none of that.
That's all he giving out. Ain't nothing standing up around here, not even truth. So let that go.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on both of those. Who else came on here? Sparkling for Jesus. How you doing? It's a very interesting name, by the way. Mike Nice, did I say hello to you? But if I didn't, hello. Rodney says, do you guys know about the Civil Rights Act that was passed in 58? I know there was quite a few of them, but the specifics of it, no. Not off the top of my head. Easy said, give them a fish fry, etc. Right? Yeah, that's all you give, some fish fry. I don't know, maybe if you're good, you get some hot sauce to go with it this time. Timothy, how you doing? Says, why? Because we as a people have a gene defect? Because we as a people have a gene, huh? Now what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about? I'm scared to even ask. I put the link up there for those of y'all want to come on here and add to this conversation. Okay, if you've already come up here and said what you know a million times, you know who I'm talking to. You ain't got to click the link today. Come up here with a new idea, okay? Something new. We don't want you to sound like a broken record on here, okay? We don't want people to get tired of you. So I'm gonna put the link up here again. Let's see here. Michael said breaking news: Republicans are now leading Democrats 55-41 among Black voters. Okay, I don't know. You've been saying some things that's like lately, so I don't know. I don't know. But welcome to the chat, nevertheless. How you doing? We are Judah. He says, love the empty store analogy. Buy nothing, leave your money. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It's the equivalent of doing the same thing, and you wouldn't dare do that. So why would you go into the booth and get nothing for it? Every other community gets something for it. And guess what? When they say, okay, we're going to put this person in office, whatever office it is, city council, whatever, and they get in there that one term and they don't do what they're supposed to do, guess what? They behind is getting up out of there. They're not going to be in there reclaiming their time and sloganizing and all that for, 35 years. They're not going to leave them people in there. They're going to be like, thank you. You've had a good, did you quit your day job? Because I hope you didn't do that. Because this ain't going to be no permanent job for you, because we sent you to office to bring home the bacon for this community, and you did not do that. So now you're out of here. But I like Auntie Maxine. She don't play. What she don't play about? Well, she be having a lot of good things to say. She got a nice little wig she got going on there. She got a handful of keys when she talking, and what she gonna do and ain't gonna do it.
Didn't she say she was going to get Trump out of office? Didn't she say she was going to get him up out of there?
Yeah, but guess what? He coming on back.
Right. And then you got to think about this too, you guys. We talk about messaging and how other groups do with their public servants. Do you think January 6th was a message sent to their representatives of what needs to be done? That was a message all in all. But see, we look at it and spin it like, oh, they're trying to overthrow the government and democracy or whatever. No. They want democracy. They're telling their representatives, you better start listening or we're going to be coming back. That was a message. And look at the Republicans that are lining up behind Donald Trump right now.
Dang, crazy. How you doing, Biko? What's going on with you?
Pretty good. How you doing today?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, I would say here in Georgia, from what I can see, is Trump should win pretty handily. The baby boomers like myself will probably vote for Biden, but it won't be enough to carry him through, because the younger people and white women, they're going to go for Trump, from what I can see. It's going to be the same scenario that I saw with Stacey Abrams. They were talking her up so good, and I was looking just at the data. I knew she was going to get slaughtered by Kemp. The same is going to happen to Biden here in Georgia. On the local level, as far as Ossoff and
Warnock,
right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't vote for either one of them before because their policies were just terrible. The policies were just terrible as far as Black people were concerned. I haven't voted for the presidency since Barack Obama 2008, so I don't plan on supporting Biden, definitely.
Well, let me ask you this. You're in Georgia, right?
Yes.
Now, we were told that if we deliver the Senate and the House and put those two senators in there, we were going to get a $2,000 check the next day, and qualified immunity would be repealed, and we would get a federal commission on police studies or something like that. What the hell happened to all that?
Well, they just lied. I knew Warnock and Ossoff there were lying all along. So I said, "You're not getting my vote because your platform, your policies don't say anything that you would do it anyway. It's just a shame, I think, that Dr. King's church, the church that he built in the community for Black people, we've got homeless Black people downtown Atlanta sleeping tonight in the cold. It's just terrible.
Well, then again, not only do you have Americans that are sleeping in the cold and, taxpayers, to me, one of the biggest national disgraces is you have almost 1 million veterans, 1 million of them, that are sleeping out in the cold. And yet people who break our laws are put up in hotels and swanky hotels in New York and all these big, nice little spots. But they tell us, the American citizen, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Now, I'm a Black man. First of all, just like Martin Luther King said, I got to have a boot before I can even pull up the strap.
That's true.
GP, what's going on with you?
It was good.
What's on your mind today?
Well, so basically, like, I got something of substance to add to this conversation. I'm gonna keep it like 10 minutes. I'm about to head to the gym after I get off here. So,
brother, did you say 10 minutes?
Yes.
Can you give us the 2 and 3?
Well, I'll try. Yes, I'm gonna condense it as much as possible.
I appreciate you.
Okay, so basically, like, about this Republican and Democrats, the Biden administration and Trump administration, what I'm about to tell y'all about what happened, whether or not Biden or Trump was in office. Now, I think this happened in about 2019, and racism is going to be prevalent whether the Republicans or Democrats in this party. And this, what happened to me, is proof of it. So this happened in 2019. I was working a job at the Minute Maid baseball park. I was working concession stands, and I was living with my parents this time. And so I had bought a firearm. I was diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar at 7 years old, and I was on medication for that till I was 22. And in 2019, I was 19 at this time. My parents called the police because they were scared because my bipolar disorder. I told them I wasn't going to do nothing. I was starting my transition to being peaceful and tranquil at that time. And then so my parents called the police had took me to the mental hospital, and it was unnecessary then. So basically, like, after I got out the mental hospital, I was mad, didn't want to talk to my parents at all. I completely just shut myself out from my parents at that time. And then so it was like 3 months later, I was getting over the situation. What happened was that 3 months later, the police came banging on my door. I had a date on this day, and I was chilling at my parents' house, waiting for the time for my date to come out because I had a female coworker who said she'd go on a date with me. I never got to go on a date at that time because the police came banging on my door. It turned out 3 months prior, the police wrote up so many lies on that report that they presented that to the prosecutor presented that to the judge, and when the prosecutor presented that to the judge, it was so many lies that they were under the impression that I assaulted my parents or my brother. And the police lied, and I was put on 3 years felony probation behind that. And I wasn't able to work from October 2019 to October 2022. And the only reason I'm able to work now is because with me successfully completing my felony probation, my record shows up as an arrest instead of a felony. And then during this time I was on probation, I was so miserable, and then I almost completely internally taken over by darkness inside, and I wanted to die not being able to make money because I was denied every single job I interviewed for at that time. And basically, like, the anger I had toward that situation triggered my third eye opening, and then basically, like, I wanted to die, and I almost sold my soul to the devil for fortune at that time because I was so desperate for money. And I know that stuff like this, what happened, whether Republicans or Democrats in office, this stuff will still happen to Black men every single day. Because I'm not the first one that it happened to. So whether Republicans or Democrats, stuff like this will still happen to Black men, regardless of what party is in office.
You know what? I totally agree with you. And I like this comment here, Miss Lachey Bay. How you doing? It says our youth needs our help, and it is up to us to help our youth. As they say, it takes a village, right? And we as Black people need to stop being dependent on every other entity outside of ourselves to help us solve our issues, or, call the police on our people when it's just maybe something else going on. Everything doesn't call for the police, because often, police don't deal with our people the way they would with somebody else, especially Black men. And so how's everything going for you now?
Well, it's going good now. I have a job making over $2,000 a week. It is only because it shows up different as an arrest now than it did while I was on probation. If I was still on probation, I wouldn't be doing good because it showed up as a felony back then. But thankfully, I completed it. Now it only shows up as an arrest.
Well, I am so glad that everything is working out better for you. I'm sorry that that happened to you, GP. But please enjoy your time at the gym. It seems like you go there every day. So hopefully you're
Yes,
seeing some results there as well.
yes, I am. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Have
But
a
one
great
more
evening.
quick, but
Oh,
one more
sure.
question before I get off here. Is
Okay.
the answer to that date still no?
It is.
All right, I'm just checking. But like I said last time,
Persistence.
yeah, but like I said last time, I'm not the type to chase. As long as I'm single, you had a top chance out of anybody. But if somebody else takes me off the market, the both of your chances with me will have left it short.
I'll definitely keep that in mind, brother.
All right, y'all have a good one.
And thank you too.
All right.
Rodney, how are you? Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me take you off mute. Hold on a second. There you go. How you doing?
Fantastic. How you guys doing?
With no complaints. Glad to see you up here. Yeah, I see you on
Yeah.
Facebook in the comment section all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I be throwing it down, guys.
We see. What's on your mind?
I wanted to ask you guys, do you think Obama had a birth certificate when he ran for president of the United States?
Yes, as he was born in the United States. I know that is an argument that has come out. Actually, it was Trump that started that whole,
Right.
Obama is not a citizen, he doesn't have a birth certificate, and, his education and all that. But he's definitely a citizen of the United States and had an authentic birth certificate.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good in Chicago. It's just that Black folks is finally getting together and organizing for so many years.
Is that where you at,
Because
Chicago?
yeah, I'm in near North Side, Chicago.
Also, you on the ground floor where you see it all unfolding with the
Yeah.
migrants being
Yes,
sent.
ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah.
how's it going now? Because I know it's cold out there. So what's going on now?
They got them in the shelters now. I think they kicked out some of the people in the shelters, but I think a lot of quite a few of them left the city because
Yeah,
of temperature.
I
Temp-
saw that. I saw that. A lot of people are like, we heard
yeah.
it was cold,
Yeah.
but we didn't know it was that cold.
Exactly. This is his brother. I wanted to mention this brother, this activist from the West Side, and you guys should follow Mark Carter. And he has a website on Facebook where he showed on the show on YouTube that they had passed the HR 19 bill, the Congress or Senate, and it's gonna invite all these immigrants to take these jobs. They're not going to only come here to pick tomatoes and carrots, but they're going to be they're going to be performing other jobs. It's like 19 jobs they had on this website, on the HR 19 website.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is a lot of people forget that Biden legalized by executive order 500,000 Venezuelans to work. He gave them the authorization to work. The Ukrainians came in. He did the same thing there. This is all by executive pen. Now, they've estimated that since Biden has come into office, over 3 to 5 million people have come into the border illegally.
Right.
So by him doing it by executive order, why is it, and this is my question, when it comes to other things, he has no problem using that pen. And Obama too, he used the Dreamers, LGBTQ, all of these things he used by executive pen. But when it comes to student loan debt forgiveness, which he has the right to do, he could universally wipe that out. When it comes to certain resources for Black people, by executive order, he can do those things. Why is it that when it comes to Black people, Democratic administrations always talk about what they can't do? He didn't have to send student debt loan to the Supreme Court and through the Congress. He didn't have to do that. But he did that once again as a delaying tactic. So why do you think it is that the very party that we support overwhelmingly always plays these tactics and games with us?
I think they're getting paid off. I think these people are Biden and these guys are the physical government on the other hand, you have a visible government, a lot of billionaires and corporations, and they're paying these people off. That's why they have special interest groups in the Congress and in the Senate to do their bidding for them. I think that American Black people, we need special interest groups in order to put pressure on these people and our own people that are in Congress and in the Senate to do our bidding.
Well, with you being from Chicago, let me just do this follow-up. With you being from Chicago, where are our unapologetic Black representation? Every time it seems like a new person comes into Congress, and they could be young,
Right.
they do the same exact stuff that has been going on. Who's that lady, Presley, the Squad, that one chick in Texas? They come in there and they do absolutely nothing, but when they're running for the office, oh, I'm from the West Side, like your guy Brandon Johnson. I'm from the West Side. Y'all know me.
But he's actually from Elgin.
Okay. You know what I mean? But he comes
So
in there,
Lightfoot's not a Chicagoan either.
right. But
She's from Minnesota.
Right, but they come in there playing the, hey, I'm from the streets, I'm from the the neighborhood, whatever. Then they get in there and they don't do anything. Where are our unapologetic, we don't give a damn Black representatives?
Tyrone Muhammad.
Yes. Yeah, he
Mark
actually
Carter.
he actually got boots on the ground in Chicago.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. He's kicking butt. Him and Mark Carter.
Absolutely. All right, Brother Rodney, have anything else you want to add to the conversation?
I hope you guys good luck on your streams, and I hope you guys be successful in your lives and keep up the great work. I'm gonna land my plane.
Thank you so much, and come back and see us again.
Yes, ma'am. I sure will.
Okay, bye-bye.
Later.
Brother Jonell, how you doing? Says Dred Scott case is a Supreme Court ruling that's still in play. Black people must motion independent and not depending, lest we all remain prey to Dred Scott ruling via the Supreme Court. Judge Taney, absolutely. And what was that? What they say? The Black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect. That is still in play today. They may say it's not, but look how they move. They being, United States of America, when it's applied to Black people, they don't respect anything that we're doing, really on either side of the aisle. So let's see here. Okay, let's see. Hey, Yanni, how you doing? Since I'm late again. Hey, Dimitri, Donovan. No, you're right on time. We got about another 18 minutes or so to be on here. Corliss, what's on your mind, sis?
So it's funny that they said something about wiping out the student loans. So me and my sister were on the phone the other day, and she said, I said, oh, Biden finna leave and Trump is finna come back. She said, you think so? I said, where you at, under a rock? Like, you don't see it? I said, girl, he coming back. So she said, oh no, we got to keep Biden until he get the student loans. I said, well, he better do it before his ass hit the door. I said, because he's out of here. Like, nobody is waiting for Biden no more to do nothing that he said he was going to do. And we ain't ski-weeding and all of that. Deuces. We not doing none of that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, when he first got into office and he was doing for everybody else, all of my Boule Negro friends and all my sorority and fraternity friends, man, he just got in there, man. You give him some time. Give him some time. It's been 3 years. Hello, where are we at here?
Yeah, most of y'all home girls from the sororities, they blocked me. She don't know what she talking about. But they still friends with Donovan though. So do tell Donovan, you part of the, you donating to the sorority fund. What's going on?
Well, I'm glad you kind of brought that up, because just like my girl Kamala Harris, who went to Howard and is a member of AKA and is now the vice president of the United States, that is using what she got to get where she wants. Those are the best girls to get, fellas. Fellas, get you a sororo girl. Those girls, just put it out there.
I ain't saying that because I know they roll in packs and they be on you like as you said in Major Payne, a paper plate on the paper cup and a snowstorm and a cup of milk. So I'm not saying that about those sisters, okay?
I'm just saying, if you look at her record, she was with Low Down, Willie Brown, Montel Williams before that, and all of a sudden, this woman comes out of nowhere, first generation, because let me tell you guys something, and this is, again, I'm not trying to be derogatory, but I'm just going to say it what it is. Black people, we are ignorant when it comes to politics because it isn't the national level that matters. It's the local level. It's the local level. But here we are, oh, Kamala this, Kamala that. You don't even know Kamala's record. And all I'm saying is when we uplift these street urchins, I'm going to call them, I'm trying to be nice, these street urchins up to these levels, and we expect so much from them, we haven't even had a black president till this very day. Barack Obama, yeah, he's a black man in skin, but his lineage is not the same as ours. Kamala's lineage is not the same as ours. So my thing with Kamala is this. You had a lot of qualified black women that could have been nominated for that position and done these things and didn't have to sleep their way to the top. I don't care what anybody says. She used what she got to get what she wants, which is smart. It's a transactional relationship. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what it's going to be. But there were several women who were in the mud for years, and this woman stepped over them using her tools to get where she wants to go. And now, wait, now we have a Fannie Willis. Notice this is all the Democratic Party. I'm very sure it's in the Republican Party too. We got Fannie Willis caught up in something. The mayor of down in New Orleans is caught up in something. I mean, all of this stuff is jumping off all over the place. So again, and what did a lot of these women have in common? They're part of these sororos and the boule. They're all part of this stuff.
Yes, indeed. Michael, how you doing?
Doing okay. How you guys doing today?
Doing well. You better be saying something differently than what you always say. I'm gonna click you up off of here.
I'm saying, I'm gonna say something different. Yes. And by the way, it's confirmed on Fox News. Just want to let you know if you understand what I mean by that.
Okay. Well, what's on your mind?
Okay. So Donovan, to answer your question, or the point you make that there are a lot of qualified black women that could have run as VP, and I'll explain to you why a lot of Democrats prefer Kamala over other black female candidates, because they know that Kamala Harris is a moderate Democrat. She's very safe. So we need to find someone who's very safe at winning. If we hire someone who is like more bold, ambitious, and especially changing the entire criminal justice system, it would make Muzungu voters very, upset, angry, because white voters gonna say, oh my gosh, if we radically change the criminal justice system, oh, that means crime's gonna go up. As white voters, we need to feel safe. Does this address your point, Donovan, or you need corrects, or do you need me to do a little bit more?
It's a good theory, but again, if you look at Kamala's record, she kept people. When the Supreme Court told her to release nonviolent offenders in California, as you know, Michael, she kept them in there, incarcerated against the Supreme Court. She locked up parents for kids' truancies. I mean, when she ran for president in her own right, if she was such a great thing, the black voters overwhelmingly rejected her. That's why I'm saying if they got rid of her, jumped her off the ticket, to me, as a political pundit that I am, it wouldn't really make a difference in where he's standing in the black community, because she's not bringing nothing to the black community because we didn't vote for her. She was selected.
Right. You understand? But I'm sure you understand why she was selected, because she, as a safe candidate, like she's moderate. She's not going to go too far on the, black agenda. Also, she's controlled by the DNC. The DNC people who are running the campaigns among black Democrats is controlled by Muzungus, because they're telling the black candidates, oh, don't stray too far in the black agenda. You got to focus on everybody. So it's making it very difficult for black Democrats, like you said, Demetri Donovan, to fight hard for black people, especially when it comes to cash payment reparations for ADOS, or American Descendants of Slavery, ending qualified immunity, passing anti-black hate crime bill. Like, if I were your president today, or if I have the money, I will do it immediately. I don't care if people have to criticize me or yell at me. I will do it immediately, like day one. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
care if I have to
Michael,
lose.
you know, I always hear people talk about if we got the money, how you going to pay for it? $20 trillion was just wasted in the Middle East wars. Nobody's ever worried about the money when we're giving Israel billions of dollars, Ukraine billions of dollars. Nobody's doing a study. Nobody's doing it. Everybody's worried about
Right.
where's it going to come from. The money's there. Just put it on the credit card like
What
you've
I
been doing.
No, what I mean is, I'll do cash payment representing me. Of course, I'm saying to run a campaign. I don't have the money. I think there's a misunderstanding. But other than that, I just wanted to add something. I just saw something in San Francisco. I'm not sure if you guys know what's happening in San Francisco. Black residents in San Francisco are now being gentrified with commercial real estate, safe places
Now,
being closed for good.
now being gentrified. It ain't a hardly no black. There was a movie that was titled "The Last Black Man in San Francisco." So, is there any black people left?
Right. And this is interesting too. So I noticed you're right? And then the reporter said, "Oh, it's now Asians and black being affected." But have you noticed on TV, the media doesn't focus on Asian residents in San Francisco being affected by gentrification. They always focus on black residents alone being affected by gentrification. They always make it as, oh, it's an Asian black coalition. And I say, no, it's not. Because if it was the case, then why aren't the Asian residents marching with black people to stop gentrification in San Francisco? And I just thought about what you said, Donovan. It's very important to focus on what's happening local, because local elections, local politics do have a big impact at the local level, especially our citywide. And so I'm seeing the frustration among black residents of San Francisco. They're frustrated because I think you're right. They didn't do this like earlier, and you're right. They're very reactive. They started taking, they didn't get involved. Let me say this nicely to be safe. I know people might criticize me, like get involved early on to stop the gentrification, stop the build of commercial real estate. And so now the black residents of San Francisco have nowhere to shop to find affordable groceries.
Well, I would say that's true for black people all over America. San Francisco is, I think, a special case because, it's one of the most expensive places to live in the United States. And not only is it just gentrification of black people, but it's also gentrification of the arts district because it's more like a tech industry now. Of course, we know there's a lot of, Google and all those, people have their corporations there. And so there's a lot of issues going on in San Francisco, but definitely it is hard for black people to live there. I think they said you need about $250,000 to live comfortably in San Francisco. So that's not the average income of most people. I think I looked yesterday or earlier, it was $60,000 for the average American. So most people are having a hard time living in San Francisco. A lot of people are who work in the tech industry. Now they can afford it because they're making a lot of money. And that's where the gentrification is coming in, because the people who are going to get those jobs in the tech industry, they are now moving out the people who, let's say, in the arts district, because most people know San Francisco to be very artsy, the music, the art, the culture, very urban. But that is getting replaced. And people who are paying reasonable rents, they are being priced out of there, whether the landlord, the Ellis Act is one of them, where they weren't supposed to, say, hey, we're moving back in. Well, we want a place back now. And then they get the person out and then they rent it to somebody else for triple the amount. So, yeah, San Francisco's a special situation, but it's true for black people. No matter where you go, we're having issues financially and everywhere else. So, Michael, you have anything else to add? I'm going to let you go with somebody else.
I'll say because now they're putting the blame on London. I can't say her last name.
London Breed.
London Breed.
Yeah, London Breed. She's the mayor there. Can you want to be keep it a buck since you came up here, Michael? It's the Asians that's doing that. The Asians in San Francisco, they're the ones that's, painting Mayor London Breed. She's not any special than the other black mayors that really do much of nothing for black people. In fact, there's a lot of schism in the Democratic Party regarding London Breed, because a lot of people felt like she should have been replacing Kamala as the senator of California, but they chose a Hispanic to do it, from what I understand, leaving no black women in the Senate. But that's the Asian community that's putting all that pressure on London Breed and the other lady that took over, the other gentleman that was recalled. Their names escape me for right now, but they're putting a lot of pressure on them because, of course, San Francisco was one of the epicenters of black people are harming Asian people. That was one of the epicenters. And so they got rid of the white guy. His name escapes my mind. It'll come to me. Chesay Bolden was his name.
Yes.
They got rid of him saying he was soft on crime. He's not doing nothing about it. So they got the other chick. She's a black lady. I can't remember her name right at the top either. But now she's in
Horrible.
walking tall and talking tough, and I'm a stamp down on crime. And hold on, let me finish. So the Asian community is the one that's actually holding the puppet strings there in San Francisco. So yeah, we could talk about the gentrification that's going on there in the Yay area, but we also need to talk about the Asians and what they are doing, weaponizing their victimhood against Black people and using Black politicians to do it.
You're right. And are they doing this covertly or overtly?
No, they ain't doing it covertly. They out in the open with it. They like, and this is the deal. We need more protection. Now, this is what they said. The Asian community said that and said we need more protections. Like, well, damn, y'all got an anti-Asian hate crime bill. What else do you need? So they have used. It's just a fact. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. The Asian community has used the Black person to get what they need by boogifying, if you will, the Black man and woman there in San Francisco to get what they want. But the Black woman and man is no more the boogeyman to anybody than it is to us. Statistically speaking, by FBI data, it says that the Black man and woman in America is still the most harmed individual in America. But one thing I would tell you about your community, Michael, and I always say this, I don't blame y'all community because y'all know how to but y'all haven't had the atrocities happen to your community like that of the Black people. So y'all got group economics. Y'all know how to organize. And I said this to somebody the other day. I said, because a lot of times you actually brought this to my attention. We think of the Asians as one, but there's South Koreans, North Koreans, Vietnam, Japan. But one thing y'all will do
is group economics.
Yeah, we gonna get together no matter what kind of Asian we are. So I'm not knocking y'all, Black people. We need to learn how to take some of that y'all are doing and do the same thing that y'all are doing. But you look at it, the Asian population in America is what, about 8-9% at this point. It's still a little bit under that of the Black community, and y'all have got together as this giant cabal, right? This force to be reckoned with. Y'all the most y'all got the most money in America. So y'all have figured out how to make this system work for y'all. Unfortunately, some of y'all come over here and y'all take on the talking points of white supremacy, and then y'all continue to victimize and harm Black people as well. So that's truly the whole story.
Yes, you're true. Yes, you're 100% correct. And I actually called out I actually got pushback from my community about casting reparations for ADOS. I told them that I told my community, the Asians, that they're as guilty as white supremacy. Their hands are dirty as the Muzungus.
And then also, not to cut you off, but the Asian community, they have believed that they are the sweethearts, if you will, of I'm going to say the minority, and it might be a derogatory term, so I'm just saying for context that they say the Asians are part of the model minority community, right? Like you guys are considered to be the standard. But if you look at something like the affirmative action lawsuit that went to the Supreme Court, getting rid of the educational component, white people, a white man, the white community use y'all to go up there and do that. And Brother Phil talks about it all the time. It actually made it easier for white students that get in under these legacy, acceptance and stuff. It made it easier for more of them to get in there. If Asians would have taken a moment to say, well, who is really actually benefiting from affirmative action? You'd have saw that it was the white woman.
White woman, right.
So the Asian community, some of y'all, not all, got rid of Black people as far as affirmative action. And now it's even worse for you.
Right. So, yes. And that's why London mayor, can't pronounce. I'll just say London.
London Breed.
London Breed. There you go. London Breed. Now you can't. I'm sure you know it's London Breed. She's when she talks, I'm sure you know she sounds more like a Muzungu woman than she is from. You know what I mean? Especially appealing to the Asian voters in California.
Most of them do, because most Black politicians, if not all of them, see, the days of the Adam Clayton Powell Jr.'s, they gone, right? So most politicians now that are Black, they got to walk and talk white, because they're not going to be in there long if they say, well, okay, I'm going to help Black people. Yeah, even they can't even talk about helping Black people because then they ain't gonna be in there long. So they got to do in there, get the talking points of white supremacy and exact that on their own people. A lot of times we think the white politician is worse for black people. And no, actually, I think it's the black politician, because unfortunately we believe that they're going to go to office, do what they say they're going to do, and then they get in there and they act as the spokesman for black people because they got a black face, right? Well, I'm doing all the talking and all the walking for the black community, and other communities believe that. So London Breed, I think her intentions might have been admirable at one point in time, but she fell prey to now the Asian community. If you don't do what we say, we're gonna get you up out of here too.
Yeah, maybe Dimitri. Yeah, right. Maybe Dimitri. Maybe your brothers and sisters in San Francisco should follow your lead to Houston, Texas. How about that?
She'll follow my lead to Houston,
no,
Texas?
No. What I mean is, sorry, let me be clear. Sorry. It sounds a little funny. I know Donovan's laughing. What I mean is, because we know the black residents are being gentrified in San Francisco, why not have them follow your lead to Houston, Texas, where you're living right now? Because you said there's a lot of black people, right? There's more black people in Houston than there are in San Francisco.
But black people ain't got it that much better here either. You know what I'm saying? Because the black people have to keep moving. I think that issue should be addressed. Why do black people have to keep moving? Black people should be able to live in California. I'm born and raised in California.
Yeah, but I remember you said before, and it's going to be a little push, but you said, if I remember correctly, but you could correct me if I read it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You said, let me remember correctly. You said that it's better to have black-owned businesses, so circles in the black community. So that way you don't have to talk about racism. You feel safe at a safe space. You can talk about any subject. Whereas if you're around like different groups, Asians, Mozungus, Jews, Hispanics, you also have to talk about race in front of them, right? But if you're around your own people, you feel safe. You can laugh together, eat together, shop together, just like the Black Wall Street, right?
Let me ask you this,
sir.
Do you know? And Corliss, I'm gonna let you take it, because I'm just speaking about crime in any of our neighborhoods. It's extremely high, and we need to ask the question why. But Corliss, what was you gonna say?
I was just about to say, it ain't gonna, in this generation. Are you talking about this generation? We ain't gonna have no black, excuse my French, shit. Do you see this generation? They worried about hair and nails. Do you know my crazy daughter? This is my blood. I birthed her, carried her, and pushed her out. For Christmas, this fool paid somebody $250 for some Christmas nails. You got to be out your rabbit ass mind.
You said $250?
Girl, for some big.
What happened to the 1999 set that we used to get back in the day?
Girl, let me tell you something. I would even make that appointment with with a $25 deposit. You have a kid, a whole child. You're talking about weaves. Okay, let's talk about this generation, Michael. You seen the red girl? What's that girl name? What's her name? Sexy Red, and ain't shit sexy about her.
I don't watch a lot of.
And if you ain't seen her, you should not. Nobody should.
I have not. I'm old school.
It's terrible. It's ridiculous. No, there's not going to be a Black Wall Street with what's running around these streets.
Yeah, but
we ain't gonna have no streets, nothing. We're not gonna have anything.
Right. I'm sure you're familiar with Philip Scott, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Philip Scott believes in like going back to the 1960s, where black people used to own businesses together collectively.
We did. Okay, let's try this one more time.
Sir.
Quit saying black people gonna own anything together. We can't come together like ass cheeks. We too worried about who hair long, who got this. Oh, this one over here got a car.
I got my Jordans. I got the new this. Right.
Look, the baby shower that looked like a wedding, and ain't neither one of y'all Negroes married.
Come on.
When you got Sexy Red getting her butt ate from the back on a video, and you putting that out on social media, what the hell do you think we gonna have except some disruption in America? Yeah. It's ridiculous. This generation, if this is who we have to depend on to take care of us, kill my ass now.
Damn.
Because I don't want it.
But then again, Corliss, who do we have to blame for the generation coming out the way they're coming out? Us. The liberalism and this democratic agenda that's been going out. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying Dimitri. A lot of us did the right thing. But again, a lot of us drop the ball on our parenting skills. When you willingly become a single father or a single mother, rather than bastardize your child, and that is the proper term, bastardize. You rather bastardize your child because somebody told you you had all the time in the world to be a wife or a mother. You do what you do. And this is where we're at nowadays. You got women stressed out. Demetra and I talked about it on the last show. Women are more stressed out now because they're doing everything that they never had to do before. Because you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're a college student, you're doing all of these things. Women are now dying at a rate almost as fast as men are now.
Now, let me say this to Donovan, because what you say, bastardize, all of mine is bastards.
Yeah.
But I'm being real. I wasn't married to any of their fathers. But one thing I can say, when my kids was growing up, I don't care how single I was, I bet you your ass wouldn't be disrespectful. I bet you couldn't nobody say they seen none of my girls getting their butt ate from the back at no damn baby shower. I bet you couldn't say none of my kids didn't graduate from high school, because as much as I stressed or cried or whatever, I made sure all 7 of them walked that stage if I didn't do nothing else.
Yeah, no. The word, the bastardization, that was the legal term, whatever. It doesn't mean that your child is a bad person or they're going to do this. It's just you're not married. You didn't marry the father or the mother or whatever it was.
Right.
That's what it means.
But some of these bastards that's being born today, Lord forgive me for what I'm should have say, but they mama should have swallowed. Sexy Red should have swallowed. It ain't no way in hell anybody should have gave her nothing. They should have just pulled out and let it out on the side of the bed.
But let me say this because it's funny. Y'all been on here know Corley's gonna say what she got to say. I was talking to my daughter about Sexy Red yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I said I'm gonna stop talking about Sexy Red only because I think it's easy for us to blame a Sexy Red, but Sexy Red is just the product that's been pushed out there. Because I'm imagining her at these A&R meetings, right, or the record company meetings, and because we know how they operate. I'm sure they're saying, okay, yeah, get out there, do this, do that, do this, do that. Now we know she comes from, I don't know, somewhere in Detroit where it doesn't sound like she's had a lot of resources.
She comes from St. Louis in the projects.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So you get handed the kind of look, she's worth maybe $500,000, which is not a lot in the grander scheme of things, but it's a lot more than what she had. So reason why I say I'm gonna stop beating up on Sexy Red, because she's just a result of the bigger problem, right? Because I think that I saw the video too, Corliss, and I was like, oh my God. But I think when we focus on Sexy Red, then we stop having the conversation about her paymasters. Because as I always ask this question, and Corliss and Donovan, I know y'all know the answer to this. Where is the Jewish Sexy Red? Where's the Hispanic Sexy Red? The Asian Sexy Red? I can't think of one. Where even Madonna and Britney Spears at their worst.
Right.
At one point, and I'm a Madonna fan. I don't care what y'all say. I love me some Madonna.
I love her too.
Right. But remember, at one point in time, Madonna was considered the filthiest woman in the world. People was mad. I like a virgin. That's like nothing nowadays, right? But even the stuff we're seeing now from the women and the girls that come out of our community, Madonna pales in comparison to the filth that they are pushing out to our community. Now, I have younger nieces, and I tell my brother and my sister-in-law, but I call her my sister. Sexy Red is an industry assassin. She's not just an industry plant. What I mean by that is she is sent to assassinate the character and the mind and the innocence of young Black girls, because often, not always, our women and our men are asleep at the wheel. So they know your daughter is going to be on TikTok listening to Sexy Red. And I don't follow Sexy Red nowhere. But Corliss, I saw the video of her at her baby shower, and I was like,
Girl, I don't even know who sent me that, but I cussed them all the way smooth to the left. Don't you ever send me no foolishness like that. I don't want to see that.
So you
Nobody
didn't
should
want
see.
it, but you didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see it. So imagine our girls who may not be, when I say our girls, I mean our young girls, they're not following Sexy Red, but that degeneracy is sent for them because unfortunately, there's not a lot of parents like the parents that we had, right? Our parents monitored what we listened to and what we watched. I'm old enough to remember my mom and them having an album in a brown paper bag because it wasn't your business.
Right.
What they was going to be listening to. Or there was things that we could not watch. But nowadays, they don't know, like I, for the life of me, don't know how a parent allows their child to scroll on social media without knowing what they're watching. Because, yeah, your child may not be subscribed to this, that, and the other. But if you're on TikTok, which I am sometimes, I'll scroll up and I'm not subscribed to none of the stuff I see. So imagine your child being on there and that message is being inculcated into them all day long. So pretty soon, they, F my baby daddy and all that other stuff.
And it's funny that you say that because I don't know if my god sister, somebody sent me a video. I didn't even know the girl's song at all. They're at these are little kids. I don't even think first grade, baby. I'm talking about singing and you can't read your ABCs. But this whole girls, I was just like, what's wrong with y'all?
I know the video, they're talking about it was some, I don't know, birthday party. Like you said, they was probably no more than 5, but it was all the little girls singing the song. And it's like, or do they all got the same mama? I don't think that they do. So how is it that all of those little girls knew those lyrics word for word? And for those of y'all who are wondering what we're talking about, it's called Rich Baby Daddy. It's a song by Drake, SZA, and Sexy Red. And the lyrics are, bend that A over, let your breathe. Bend that A, shake your A for me, for Drake, now shake it for me. Now, this is what girls 5 and under, give or take, were singing, and they sung it like the happy birthday song. So I saw in a lot of the comment sections, people saying, oh, they need a whooping. Oh, they need to whoop. Why are you whooping the little girls for?
Whoop the parents.
You gonna beat the little kids so you're gonna re-abuse them because it's already abuse. That those little girls know that song, but now you're gonna go and abuse them for singing a song that you as a mama or daddy sat up and repeatedly listened to the point, or they own social media to where they know those lyrics, and then the dumb idiot who filmed it and then uploaded it to the internet like that was a flex. But surprisingly, there was a lot of women, some dudes, was defending it. Oh, they were smart enough to bleep out the words. They was just having fun.
But they can't read though. No child left behind. And that was including the mama.
Right. See, Brother Don, you there? Not yet.
Yes, Demetra, I'm here.
There you go. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good. I'm rolling, but I had to jump in on this. That oh my goodness, that woman, if I can so call her that.
Which woman?
The bought and paid for Mammy of San Francisco.
A London breed.
Oh, we won't even talk about her. And yeah, they got this place on lock. And it's a trip because I've seen this around the Bay Area. They not only practice group economics, they practice other minority, one might say inclusion, but I say exploitation. Because you will see in the Asian establishments, the Latinos doing the heavy lifting. And it is absolutely ridiculous. But here's the deal. We as a people, if we know the truth, we shouldn't expect anything different from all these other folks. All these other folks are confederate against us. When we say we have no friends, we truly have no friends. If you don't believe me, read Psalms 83. We have no friends. We're in this fight all the way to the end of it. And the good news that I know is it's not going to end well for these other folks. It's just not going to end well for them. Because you can't go through history and do what you've done to a certain people and think that nothing's going to happen. I'm sorry. That would make the creator a liar. And that's one thing he ain't. Man lies, women lie, children lie, but the creator don't lie. And just one of the reasons I jumped in was because, yeah, I saw that video. It broke my heart. It broke my heart with the ballet teacher.
Was it
that broke my heart?
Oh yeah. That's a different story that I'm talking about. I saw the ballet one, but the other one, these little girls were at a party and they were singing along to different Sexy Red lyrics. So, you know, clearly Sexy Red has the culture of Sexy Red has permeated the youth, and it's a bigger play at hand.
And I'll say this. You know, where I do fault somebody for going along and being used as a tool. I don't know what your condition was before you got your deal, but who I do fault is, I'm gonna put his name out there too, Larry Jackson. I fault your black ass, Larry Jackson. You were supposed to be about the people, and you turned out to be a trick.
Who is Larry
So you
Jackson?
kissed my ass. Larry Jackson is one of the partners on the label that Typhoid Red is on.
Oh,
Larry
yeah.
Jackson is from here.
But
he's from here.
Yeah, but you got to. I'm not making excuses, but there's a bigger play at hand. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Those people are being used. I would imagine Sexy Red or Larry Jackson or whoever these people are. I'd imagine they probably want to be singing about something else. You know, but we know. Come on, we all been around since damn near the inception of hip hop, right? So we've seen the movement of hip hop go from, you know, its inception to conscious rap. To me, that was the best time of rap.
Time.
But then now that's considered underground. You know, the stuff that we're hearing now with your Sexy Reds and all them, that was considered underground music. Like you actually had to go find that to listen to. But now the conscious rap is underground. You don't hear it as much as you hear the other stuff. So it's all by design.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. There was a meeting. To make the shift because it was gaining too much power. When we start to unify and these types of things, if you study American history, you will see every time that we start to come together as a people consciously and start to flex our power, they stand in the bootlicks. And so during the conscious music time, they got these executives, these producers and so forth and so on, to change the scripts. The ones that bought into the deal, the ones that didn't buy into the deal, well, their careers didn't match. You know, they didn't last too much longer. But this was all by design. And even when you deal with the vibration levels of the music, they are set to put your mind into a certain state. It can put you in a trance. I remember when the song Hit 'Em Up came out by Tupac. That was one of the songs that made me spiritually hypey. Made me want to go. It was a war cry. It made me want to go hit 'em up. So this is what we see. And it's caused internal warfare in the Black community whereby we destroy each other. And so it's a sin and a shame. I'm gonna say this. The distractions are real, folks. The distractions are real. If you're not looking around at what's going on, my girl came out with a song back during that period of time. Actually, it was a group. It was actually a group, a collective. And the song was called Self-Destruction.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a forewarning to our people. But I'm going to tell you this, America. That's where you're headed. You're headed to self-destruction because the atrocities that you committed. And not only the atrocities you committed, but the atrocities you committed against a certain people. And I'm going to land my plane there.
All right, Brother Don, thank you so much for coming on here. I didn't realize we had been on here this long, but we about to get out of here too. But drive safely, please do that.
Yeah, I'm at home now, so I'm gonna land here and love you, sis. All right, Brother Dave.
Bye-bye. And Brother Michael, we're going to let you go as well because we're going to get out of here. I've worked all day from sun up to sundown and I is tired. Like, y'all, I didn't even do my hair today. I put on this scarf. I was like, yeah. That's what it's going to be today.
And you got a little baby hair, girl. It's that good hair.
There's a lot of.
No, it's not because she didn't pull it down to be the bat wing that the forehead, lashes.
Don't do my girl now. Don't do my girl like you out here with these wigs out here flying with that hair flipped up and rolled over to the side. Don't come over here playing, Donovan.
Yeah, I started to comb my hair today. I was like, I just don't feel like it. Honestly, I didn't feel like doing nothing today, but I had a lot of stuff to do. I was like, okay, you know what? It ain't about you right now, because if it was up to me, I'd be in the bed with the covers pulled all the way up, letting the TV watch me. I would be with my hair, you know.
And that's how she spends her days, trust me.
And that ain't often, trust me, because I always got something going on. I ain't lying.
Yeah.
So
I like your deck. Sorry. Never mind. I didn't want to interrupt before you're about to finish. I was gonna say I like your decoration. Also, I like that background in the picture that shows unity. You could probably tell a little bit more.
That's Madam C.J. Walker.
Yeah. That's Madam C.J. Walker. It's her house. Obviously, she's not here anymore, but that's Via Loraro. And it was a house that she bought after amassing a major fortune in, you know, hair care products and all that. She was considered to be one of the first ones that fashioned the MLM, if you will, multi-level marketing model like Avon and Herbalife and all that. So she was credited loosely with creating that. And so that is her house. Believe it or not, it is still in her family. Her family still owns the house. And Donovan and I was talking about that earlier on the podcast in regards to not selling grandmama's house, you know, keeping it. Because I'm sure a whole lot of people that came in, y'all selling that? I'm sure that look at it. And imagine what it looks like in color, right? I'm sure a lot of people wanted to take that off. We'll take it off your hands, Alelia, because that was the granddaughter. I believe it was the granddaughter who owned it. Then obviously she's not here anymore, so other people own it. So imagine the people who have offered to buy it, and it's like, no, we good over here.
Actually, it's her. Yeah, the lady is still living. She's old, but
yeah, so I think it's the great granddaughter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the great granddaughter. They still own it and all of that. So yeah, but that's what it looks like. And you know, I know a lot of times people like to beat up the black woman, but in that picture there's black men and there's black women working for that company. And it was started by a black woman who was tired of washing white people's drawers and said, I'm going to start something, not only for myself, but I'm going to bring the other washer women up out of white people's kitchens. And I'm going to bring the brothers along too. And she built that fortune. So I'm saying that as a black woman, every time you think you want to get froggy and talk about black women, what black women ain't doing, all that, you think about Madam C.J. Walker and the legacy that she built, not just for her family, but her people. And she taught other people that you could be more than washing the dirty laundry of white people. Don't ever forget. That black woman may not be the backbone of the Democratic Party, but damn it, she the backbone of this community for the most part. She is very industrious, very resourceful. You know, I know a lot of times people talk bad about black women, but when y'all black asses get in the lurch, who y'all call? Black women. And y'all, hey, black one, hey, big head,
Mama, where my mama at?
right. For those of y'all, as I said, it's your preference. But those of y'all who be looking down on black women, it's gonna be a black woman that's gonna come to the rescue every time. Matter of fact, it was a black woman who saved your raggedy behind. I'm talking to men and women for whatever you may have gotten yourself into. And I'm speaking as a black woman. Corliss is a black woman. Me and her both gonna tell you when the shit hits the fan, excuse my French, we the fixers. They calling us. Hey, big head, can you help us?
My mama told me, I've taught you right and wrong. If you black ass gets in trouble out there and you're in jail or whatever, don't call me. Lose my number. Be done with it. And guess what? Never been to jail.
You know why? Because she already told you right from wrong, and you got yourself out there in that water without your floaties. When she told you to get in the water with your floaties and you didn't do it, now more than likely your mama talking a lot of stuff because I'm a black mama and I've told my daughter certain things, but one thing we ain't never gonna do is leave our children in a bind unless they absolutely.
My mom will. She means what she says. My mom will.
It sounds good. Trust me. Your mom be like, no, my baby. Where my baby at? Oh no, not my baby.
No, my mom would be like, oh, are the animals okay? You need to stop by the house to feed the animals.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you a story. My dad, you know, he don't mind me telling a story. He was, you know, a little baddie when he was bad, and when he's young, he getting into trouble, you know, rocking and rolling with the Slousons. Oh yeah, that's before they was, you know, cripping and all that. He was with the Slousons, okay, with Bunchy Carter and all of them. But my daddy, you know, he was a hothead, and he went to what they call the reform farm or whatever for boys, and his mama, okay, a strong black woman, went and saw her son every weekend the whole time he was in there. She never ever left him alone and made him think he was doing that time. He was 14, 15. He's doing that time on his own. And he said it inspired him because his mama coming up there, you know, to straighten up and fly right. So black women, we always, for the most part, gonna come to the rescue. Damn what the internet saying. Believe what I'm telling you.
And look, Donovan, my son said the same thing because he knows, like, where they failed in court, baby, I'm going to stand 10 toes down, and trust me, I done found some things. He going to be well paid when he walk up out of there. He been gone almost 11 years, but it ain't no way he'll make it without me.
I'm going to tell you right now, the black community will not make it without the black woman. We're not going to make it without the black man either. I'm not discounting the black man.
But real quick, but just like we were saying about the sexy red thing, what is the most purest way to destroy a community? Through the women.
Right. But the other thing, as I say, and I say this because I see people, I know we're supposed to be getting out of here. I see people all the time posting on the internet, black woman this, black woman that, black woman this, black woman that. And I said, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be nice if you posted about the black women who are actually doing something nice, that are nation builders and really are a credit to the race? Why don't you ever post about them?
Women that are nation builders. Where?
Look, wait a minute, Donovan, because I told D, I didn't tell you. But I actually got into some organizations where I'll be speaking on Senate floors.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so it's time to go big or go home, but I can't stand back and keep letting y'all do what y'all doing in the system. It's devastating.
Right. So again, the black women, there's a lot of good black women out there really doing some good things, but unfortunately with the internet, you know, I get it. I'm a content creator. I purposely choose not to always talk about negative stuff. The black man ain't this, the black. I choose not to do that. Trust me, I can get paid. I'm good at what I do. I know how to bump my gums real good. I tell you all the time, I can get on here talking about, oh, the black man ain't this. And the black one, I can make a pretty penny, but I'm not going to sell my people out for a dime because, as I always say, you're talking about it now and you're cashing that check now, but you really going to pay for it later because God is not pleased with the division of black men and black women. Because if we are the greatest of people on earth, the original people, and we are supposed to stand the test of time, Don't you think God frowns upon the continuously dividing black men and women? Of course he does. So who are we as man to usurp what he wants for us by dividing black men and women? Be very careful. I'm telling you, be very careful when doing that kind of stuff, because there's a heavy price to pay for doing it. So I hope that helps. Hey, Tony, how you doing? And everyone else that came on here. So we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure it'll be interesting nevertheless. I appreciate you, Michael, Corliss, Donovan, and Andre. Who else came on here? Brother Don. We had Rodney, and somebody else came on here. Oh, we had
JP.
Yeah, GPT, is it?
Yeah, GP. I think it's GP.
Came on here. And whoever else came on here, we love and appreciate y'all dearly. In the meantime, I'm going to rest my voice, and I will see you all later. Peace.
Peace.
Remove this.
Great show. Great show.
Are we still live?
No.